Welcome to this week's HeroesHearth TFT Fight Night, where we're returning 1 week later, not the 2 weeks of usual, but with all the same players. And generally, as he usually is, beside me is Casanova here casting with me tonight. How are you doing, bud?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I'm chilling. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a lot better tonight.
Hell yeah.
Really excited to cast some games, Get in there, see what they can do. We saw them last week, right? We got the same people back. This is like a first, I think, getting all the same players back for a fight night. It's going to be crazy.
Indeed. And we have the defending champion, the back-to-back defending champion, actually.
Two-time
Rayditz. Maybe we'll make it a 3 this week, but we'll see. But then as well, coming back, we have DXN, Kladeous, Teebs, Kymzi, Bentobot, God Ant, and Tuyo-Hey.
You know what's not coming back, though, Khroen?
What?
Our old scoring system's not coming back, Khroen. We got a new one this week, brought to you by an old friend of ours, Dreadnought from the Heroes of the Storm scene, now casting a myriad of different other games. But one of our favorite casters, fellow casters, Dreadnought, kind of helped us come up with this scoring system. If you want to break it down for me.
Yeah, for sure. So first place, you're getting a lot of points. You're getting 13. Second place will get 12 points. Third, 10 points. Fourth will be 8 points. Fifth, 6 points. Sixth will be 5 points. Seventh, 4 points. And eighth place will give you 3 points. So it's relatively similar in the fact that if you have a bad game, it's not going to be too hard to come back if you do get some good placements in there. But it should be a bit more consistent and rewarding players for their consistency.
Yeah, it should. Now, who are you looking at to take this home? Who do you think is going to upset Rayditz, or do you not think he's getting upset? That's the real question.
I honestly don't think Rayditz is going to get upset. I think he had a really, really good understanding with the meta last week, and I think that he's going to use that to sort of propel that knowledge to stay ahead of the curve, to stay ahead of these other players, already having good understanding. In a week, maybe some players would have caught up to him, but I think I have faith in him just being a very strong player, being a smart player, and being able to stay ahead of that curve. Do you have anyone that you were looking at, maybe you think might upset him, or do you share this sentiment?
I kind of share the sentiment. He looked almost unstoppable last week. I always, though, look at DXN and Kladeous, staple players that we've had multiple times on Fight Night, and absolute powerhouses in their own rights. But here we go. We're going to get into that first game, and we're going to see if anyone's going to be able to dethrone the current champ, Rayditz. Now, is this Infernal?
It
Infernal
is.
Dragon. Still getting used to recognizing these.
Indeed, yeah, this map is the Inferno map, so there will be 2 elemental hexes spawning over the course of the game, one right now and another one at round 3-1, and they will give any unit that stands in it 30% attack speed. But yeah, the Rise of the Elements, this new set, there are these elemental hexes, and last week it was a relatively new set. Maybe players got a chance to play a little bit on the PvE, but now players have had it another week, and everyone's playing this now. There is no current live patch, and some people playing the PvE, some playing live. It's just everyone's playing this now. So a lot of time for those players to prep and get their strats down for this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Last week it seemed like a lot of strategies were changed on the fly, but this week they've had a lot more time of preparation, as you said. And so I'm expecting some really competitive matches. These are some really high caliber players that we have here. And so the fact that they've had a full week on this patch now, that they've been able to kind of hone their skills, I'm really excited what they're going to pull out. I don't myself know exactly what we're going to see tonight, but I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I think the meta sort of for this patch has started to solidify into a few very strong compositions, a couple of those being Hyperreal Predators, either going into Berserker Glacial Poison or Poison Electric. That seems to be a very staple, strong composition right now, so I'd be very surprised if we don't see at least a couple people trying to go for that per game, as well as Shadow Summoners. Shadows are just very strong units. Kindred, probably one of the best units in the game right now, so you'll definitely be seeing that tonight. In terms of other compositions, yeah, I'm not quite sure as well. There are a few other ones that are strong with lights and maybe woodland rerolling. But I want to see if these players can get creative. Maybe someone will pull out a new strategy or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we'll see some more of that Frozen Fist Garner. Maybe we'll see some other exciting things, like the Volibear with the crit spell item. Really excited about that one last time. Not expecting to see any of that this time around, but
Maybe not.
who
Was that
knows?
actually,
Who knows?
was that Teebs who had it? We're looking at Teebs right now with the Volibear
Oh.
and the rod.
And
then
the crit glove in the
yeah,
inventory. Oh, we
could
got
actually do that.
opportunity to get that right off the bat. Yeah, it seemed not that good last time, but really,
yeah. It turns out actually the interaction last week that we were talking about, where Volibear kills a unit, the unit needs to be under 35% health for him to get the mana reset. So if he one-shots a unit, it actually doesn't really do much for him, and he can't just instantly chomp once again.
I mean, I guess you still one-shot the unit, so that's not bad, but at the end of the day, I guess that doesn't really get much use out of the item now, does it?
Not really. Oh, we see Tiohe here opting to make a disarm item very, very quickly into this game. Usually you'll see players make that a bit down the line, but maybe with these few upgraded units, Tiohe just wants to go for an early win streak here and preserve HP and start gaining more money from that win streak gold.
Yeah, absolutely. We did see those win streaking compositions tended to have a lot of success in the last week. It seemed as though having that strong early game did pay dividends on the current iteration of Teamfight Tactics. So I do expect a lot of players to be going for a similar style this time around. And so far, looking at those tier 2 units, Tiohe gonna have a pretty solid start here. And we'll see if he can capitalize with that and bring it forward to do even more.
Yeah, exactly. You know who else had a really good, strong start almost every game last week? Rayditz.
That's true.
Yeah, he was the one to level up
to
level 8 on round 4-3 before anybody else, or pretty much every single game, at least 3 out of 4 games last week, because he had that really strong start. So maybe some players here are trying to take a page out of his book, saying, hey, that worked for him. It seems like if I'm not going hyper rolling compositions, then just having a really strong start will propel my lead and have me have enough gold to level up earlier on and find those important units faster.
Absolutely, and if you can't beat them, join them. Emulating what Rayditz did last time around to find the win, definitely a viable option to find yourself a few victories here. Rayditz looking like he's struggling at the start of this game. A lot of pairs, but not a lot of strong units on his board. Probably going to be eating a little bit of HP over the first few rounds here.
Yeah, he did. He took 9 damage there from Tiohe's composition with that Aatrox and that tier 2 Varus. Very strong opener from Tiohe, and already it's sitting a lot of pairs. Needs to hit some of them in order to stabilize here in this early game.
He had 3 Threshes on his board there, is what it looked like. I couldn't quite tell, but I think that's what was offered. Now, I haven't seen much Thresh played in general, but he does go ahead and pick that up. Just grabbing a tier 2 unit this early on, of course, going to be definitely helpful, as he was sitting on 0 tier 2 units before then. Just the Diana on the Infernal Rune, which we did see do a lot of work in carrying some early games, but not as a tier 1 unit. Was she doing that much?
Yeah, she's probably one of the best 1-cost units in the game right now, but you definitely want to find her at least tier 2 in order to be that strong unit that you'll rely on her for. We see Bentobot here with a tier 1 Diana himself. But yeah, that tier 2 Thresh that Rayditz picked up, I wonder if he'll try to maybe go a couple of Oceans or a couple of Wardens for the early game. It'll be interesting to see how he really wants to play this and how he just has to transition afterwards, because that is a bit of a gold sink if you're not really going to use it for that long, but maybe he will.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It doesn't look especially strong so far, but maybe it'll scale up with having better units surrounding it, given that it is giving all that support with that Lantern being dropped. We do see the Zephyr meta kind of continuing here, which does make sense, obviously, with those elemental hexes. It did seem to be working out last week, and I do expect it to continue into this week as well. Maybe slightly lower priority, as we did see someone build 3 Zephyrs before any other items, which is just you know, luck of the draw at that point, of course, but
Yeah,
it
a lot
did
of
seem
belts and
like the
cloaks, I mean.
priority on Zephyr was fairly high, and I'm not sure if we'll see it quite match the same priority, but I do expect to see quite a few Zephyrs built.
Yeah, I would agree with that exactly. I think Zephyr is a very good item right now. Yeah, whatever map you're on, a priority unit is going to be in an elemental hex. So if you put a Zephyr on your unit in your elemental hex, you're guaranteed going to, CC one of the valuable units. So I 100% agree with that assessment. Yeah, there's items on every single map that have a bit of increased priority, I suppose. The Inferno map, like we're on right now, for instance, Rageblade, as we see Kymzi have here, is very valuable because that extra 30% attack speed the Inferno Hex gives makes it that much faster for you to stack your Rageblade. And it being on Kindred already, this is looking like a really, really good start for Kymzi. Again, Kindred's one of the strongest units right now. Already has one with a couple of shadows and a couple of rangers. There's no wonder she's still at 100 HP right now.
Yeah, and of course, Rage Blade stacks up per auto attack, so the faster your attack speed, the faster you're going to be stacking up that item. Of course, making Infernal the perfect map to be setting up for a hyper carry with that Ginsu's Rage Blade. Now, we do see Kymzi still losing to this Varus, tier 2, Infernal Varus, Tuyohei. Like we talked about earlier, picking up a lot of those early T2s in a couple strong units, and he's sitting on a hot streak with 100 HP left. Looking good for Tuyohei.
Definitely, but unfortunate for Kymzi, they're having to run into Tuyohei just because he was a little bit stronger. The Varus was left alive with maybe 200 or less HP, but it was still very close. Once Kymzi finds these upgrades, like this is a composition that wins games further down along the line. Starting at level 7, if you're able to get 4 shadows, 2 rangers, and 3 summoners, it's just such a dominant composition right now. I wonder how Tuyohei will transition his early game composition to have similar success such as that comp might.
Absolutely. If we take a look at it here, he has the Nasus, which I believe is a desert unit, which he doesn't have any other desert units. He's got a couple summoners, as well as a couple Infernos on top of that. Now, we didn't see Inferno being incredibly successful as a late game composition, but summoners did seem rather strong. So I do expect to see, as you stated, the summoners being built into, maybe even from Tuyohei as well, sitting on 2 of them, and maybe trying to transition into something else other than the Inferno as the game goes on.
Yeah, Inferno synergy is one that I myself have not been exactly sure how strong it is, but I think I've come to the conclusion that as long as you're able to find strong units that have summoner, it'll be pretty good to play them. Say like in that summoner shadow composition, it can very easily fit 3 Infernos in with Varus, Annie, and Kindred all being Inferno units. Now, it doesn't deal an insane amount of damage, but it will be probably that extra boost that you might need to win a round. I mean, Annie's a very strong summoner. As you stated, summoners are just super strong in this meta, and they're very flexible to be able to fit into your composition right now. They do a lot of things and have a lot of different synergies between them.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Kladeous here looking pretty strong as well, sitting on quite a few. Ooh, this picks up gold here.
Yeah, even more gold.
Quite a bit of gold here. He could sell to go up to 40 gold.
Yeah, unless he really wants everything that he has on his bench right now, which it seems like he does.
It seems like he's really thinking about it, but ends up not selling.
Another pair. Another Kiana.
Yeah. Not finding the upgrades he wants. Just getting closer and closer to a few of them. We'll see if he picks that up.
Yeah, it looks like Kladeous wants to transition here into some assassins, maybe. Does have the Kiana on the bench and the Kiana in the shop, going Rek'Sai and Nocturne for that 2 steal bonus, providing immunity to both of them once they go under 50% health. Looks like Kladeous is just playing the econ game here. Might level up next turn, as a lot of players do. But as we see Kladeous versus Tuyohei here, Tuyohei chooses to level up a turn early, probably to just keep that win streak going. And it looks like he'll do just that.
He absolutely will keep that going. Unfortunate for Kladeous to run into Tuyohei. He was doing really well. He was sitting on a lot of HP and really great econ. Unfortunately, that all changed when the Fire Nation attacked, as Tuyohei and his Infernos came through and dealt about 14 damage to Kladeous.
Yeah.
Definitely hate to see that one if you're Kladeous here. But end of the day, he's still middle of the pack with one of the best econs in the game currently, so he's not in a bad spot yet.
No, not yet. And another middle of the pack player right now is Godant, with 3 mages actually already committing to that mage cap. Now that is pretty good on Malzahar. Really wants to get it to a tier 2 though. Okay, does decide to level up to fit 3 summoners in. I do like this from Godant, and I think as soon as Godant finds that Malzahar 2 and eventually Yorick 2, then he'll be pretty strong. Decides to put the Yorick in the back, is not utilizing that first or frontline Inferno Hex, opting to choose value over positioning more than getting the benefit from that Hex.
I do feel like that was a huge pickup, and we'll see if it ends up paying off, which I think it will. He was able to get the Shadow synergy as well as the Summoner synergy there.
Yeah.
Pretty big power spike for Godant, and he may be able to start win streaking off of that, at least to an extent. As long as he doesn't run into Tuyohei, I think he might be okay to be picking up quite a few wins.
Yeah, indeed. It's always a scary thing in the lobby when there's one person still at 100 HP, you know, post Krugs, maybe even post Wolves. We'll see how long that Tuyohei will be able to keep it up for. But if you're one of the bottom players, maybe like Teebs and Bentobot, we'll check in with them in a bit. But you just pray that you don't run into Tuyohei right now, because you don't want to be losing that HP. You want to be able to save up and stabilize so you can maybe roll down your gold after the Wolves to, you know, get that power spike that you're looking for. Rayditz here, still having that Thresh, opts to go a couple of Ward Notions, picks up that Nautilus to pair along with it.
Yeah, he does end up exactly like you said, 2 Ocean, 2 Warden. He's got a couple T2 units. We actually haven't seen people invest into an Azir at all last week. We didn't see it a single time up to T2. Most people got rid of it before that stage. But we're seeing the Azir actually pump out a really good amount of damage in that fight.
Yeah, he did
almost
4,000
4,000. The items, it seemed like he's doing quite a bit of damage with this attack speed. Maybe Infernal is the place that you can play an Azir, and it's not too bad.
I think it's right. It's the only carry unit that he really has right now, or has the potential to carry, is that Azir, and he recognizes that that is his condition to stabilize, and so playing towards that. I wouldn't be surprised if eventually Rayditz does sell that Azir in favor of a better unit, but right now it is doing the work it needs to. Azir is a bit of an inconsistent unit. He summons his soldiers and they don't move, so if enemy unit moves out of range of the soldiers, then they can't hit, which makes it a little awkward sometimes, but as we saw right there, it is quite working out nicely right now.
Yeah, it seems maybe kind of a high risk, high reward unit. It seems quite potent if it does have a lot of uptime with those soldiers. They did seem to be chunking quite heavily, a lot more than we'd really seen previously. As you said, he'll probably end up selling it, but I would actually love to see it stay in, just as it's a unit I haven't seen explored too much. Probably due to the fact that it's not very good, but we'd have to see if it can kind of pull off a little bit of an interesting strategy with that Azir.
Yeah, definitely. Take a look at Bentobot here. Bentobot seems to be struggling to stabilize here. Is on level 6, almost the wolf round, and 0 gold, 48 HP.
His composition's not looking great either. He did pick up the 4 Shadow, but a lot of tier 1 units. Running into Kladeous, which is not the worst for sure, but he still seems to be losing. No, he might be able to make his way back in. It's pretty close. We're going to see if this Renekton can get a big call to Meekoff. No, the units hadn't quite walked into the range, so that didn't turn out as a tragedy for Bento. But it's not great for him. Kladeous is one of the weaker armies right now, and he's not winning against that convincingly while sitting in last place with 0 gold. So it's going to be really heavily reliant on the luck of the draw right now to see if he can make his way back into this game.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, BentoBot rolled all of the gold and was able to survive at least one more round. I'm curious to see if he's able to win this one. Does decide to just put all of his items on. Really values at HP right now. But, you know, as we said earlier, Shadow Summoner, strong composition, and that's what he rolled for. Having a Kindred 1, though, is a bit unfortunate, as we see Kymzi's Kindred 2 on the other side. Will probably be able to take the round.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much damage it can put out. It has jumped forward, just hitting some summons, but it's not being focused at all. So Kymzi's Kindred is just going to run through the rest of this composition. Tibbers pretty tanky, but not tanky enough for this Kindred. Will be able to easily get through that, but Bento won't take too much damage from that. Not too upset about 4 damage running into one of the stronger players right now. So finding a few small upgrades, getting those T2s actually working out and paying dividends for Bento right now as he tries to stabilize.
And we see DXN here hitting that 3-star Kog'Maw is one off of the Ornn. This is the other composition that I was talking about earlier, the Predator, Poison, Electric. Now DXN doesn't have the poisons quite yet, but that is what you will go into later on in the game. And we have a massive cheer from Naza Jaza, 10,000, instantly fills up the bounty. I haven't had a chance to talk about that yet, but thank you very much. The players and cast and crew, everyone here will be very appreciative of that. So thank you very much. Yeah, much love. Very appreciated. DXN here picking up a few items.
I was waiting for like the first half to get into talking about bits, but Naza Jazz is coming through, rolling deep with us here, getting us some bits, filling up that bounty already. Thank you very much.
Yeah, quickly, 60% goes to the top 4, 20% to bounty, 20% to cast and crew. The stream bits breakdown. We can still go over the bounty, so if you want to support the show, feel free to keep on doing so. But yeah, massive thank you to Naza Jaza.
Actually huge. Actually huge. You know what else is huge?
Massive. What's huge?
DXN getting yet another 3-star, this time his Ornn.
Yeah.
Definitely looking scary on that composition. He's got a couple Predators, a couple Electric, a couple Steel. Yeah. But really, it's just the 3-stars that are quite terrifying. This Kog'Maw is going to be pumping out a ton of damage.
Something that's also scary is that Sivir, 3-item Sivir, 2-star right now. That's no slouch of a unit. I think it'll actually even be able to take out DXN here. DXN's strong, but not as strong as Tuyohei. Tuyohei did take 1 loss so far, but that is it. And finds Tier 2 Sivir, Tier 2 Annie even at this point in the game. We see the strength of that composition right there. DXN feels like he needs to roll to be able to keep up with this. I mean, at this point in the game, you want to be able to find level 7 and fit your 3 poisons in, then go 8 and fit your 3 electrics in, but feels like he needs to roll for those upgrades right now. Has that Mundo, definitely better than the Nocturne, so I agree with this play by DXN, but being on 0 gold, it's going to be a while for him to level up.
Yeah, it feels like he should be so strong, but he's off just a little bit. I think if he can get that poison in, he can get that level up and get poison. That could be a huge buff for him as well. His composition looks really strong, but at the end of the day, he's running into people who are a little bit stronger. Kymzi's going to be the one he runs into next, and that 2-star Kindred with the 3 items looking pretty strong. Not getting focused down yet, but Kog'Maw's putting out just enough damage, and it should be good enough as this Kog'Maw kind of finishes up the rest of the board.
Yeah, I was a bit worried for DXN there. You're running into Tuyohei and then Kymzi, the strongest 2 players back to back. I thought if he lost that round, he might have panicked a bit and just kept rolling down just gold to find the Warwick 3 or maybe even try to fish that Rek'Sai 3. But fortunately for DXN, he did win that round, so maybe feels confident enough to econ back up to 40 gold, maybe 50, and try to level up once more. We see Tuyohei here with 6 summoners and 2 deserts. This is not the route I would have expected for Tuyohei here, but finds all the summoners, so hey, you might as well play them, I suppose. I'm not sure if this is going to be the route that's the strongest, but I am curious. I haven't seen a lot of 6 summoner compositions, so maybe it will be. This is a good test here versus Kymzi to see how.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see the 6 summoners, actually. That's really unfortunate, though, that the Yorick goes down without actually casting his ability. Yeah. I'm not sure if the rest of this composition is going to be able to carry. I mean, Tibbers is pretty strong, but I don't think he's going to be strong enough. Ends up being
It was-
fairly
yeah.
close. I think if the Yorick was able to go off, it might have helped out a little bit, but he ended up dying very quickly, and that's a lot of items invested into a unit that just kind of disappeared off the board.
Yeah, Vygar instantly hit Sivir, chunking her down to below half HP. You know, the Vygar with the Seraphs, the targeting was a bit unfortunate for Tiohei there. I think if we run that fight back, you know, in a simulation of maybe 10 times, I think Tiohei would win some of those. So just a bit unfortunate there for him.
Yeah, and he has such a huge lead, so I'm wondering if he's going to end up falling off. I haven't seen the 6 summoners in the late game. Not certain how strong it is kind of in a vacuum without that shadow on top of it.
Yeah, I think mainly Tiohei just needs some more frontline, as we said last fight. You know, the Yorick unfortunately instantly died without getting to cast ultimate, and nothing is there to help protect. Tiohei isn't getting the benefit from the Inferno Hex, just has the Yorick in front, and it's going to be taking all of that damage instantly. If he's able to live, maybe that'll be the difference between some of these fights.
Yeah, if he can maybe find another tanky frontline unit that can take that Inferno Hex and get some use out of that, could be very strong. Scion, a pretty good option, just a good all-around unit. Some crowd control, pretty tanky. Shadow would be given as well, I believe, with that. But.
Yeah. Oh, we see Teebs versus Kladeous here. Both of them pretty low HP, but that double Infinity Edge Nocturne really going to town here. I think Teebs might end up dying if she doesn't kill another few units with a Scion.
Ooh, and it healed all the way up. The Nocturne's going to continue ripping through this composition right now.
Okay.
A lot more damage. The poison ticking away.
All right.
Teebs is able to stabilize a little bit. Yeah. Only taking a small amount of damage this time around. Not too much of a tragedy there. She's hanging on by a thread though at that 10 HP. Bento bot not far behind at the 14.
Yeah, on a 4 loss streak right now. Teebs is going to have to win this round to get to the Raptor round. Maybe find some more items. Maybe find another Nikos to get that Singe to tier 2. But she is struggling right now. Isn't able to fit summoners in. Just has 2 Annies on the bench. That's really unfortunate. Not a place that you really want to be in right now. Up against Rayditz. Will she be able to take him out?
We still see that Azir in there. Lux has been picked up. Been a little while since we checked in on Rayditz. Kind of has the same comp he's been rocking with pretty much the entire game. We do see the Azir doing pretty good DPS, but I think Poison is a pretty big gimp for this character. As he's not able to get a new soldier and reposition, as you had stated, he cannot move it, but gonna be strong enough to take down Teebs, and unfortunately she's gonna go out at 8th here in round 1. That's all right though, plenty of rounds to go, and it seems as though a little bit more comeback mechanics with the new system, as you do still gain a couple points even in that pole position.
Yeah, definitely. I think 8th is 3 points, but if she's able to get a 1st or a 2nd, then she'll be able to secure a lot of points in the coming games. But for DXN here, also very low, 11 HP, on level 6. Now after this round is where DXN is going to want to level up. Maybe find Poison, maybe high rolls a Zed to get that 3 electric in. 3 electric with the Volibear and the Ornn being super tanky units. Either one is going to be good for him. Just needs to find one of those things. Eventually he wants to go to 8, but that is going to be far down along the line. Kladeous is already level 8 here.
At this point with the tier 3 Ornn, I feel like the electric is something I would want even more. Just get a little bit more damage being pumped out, trying to get those health bars a little bit lower for this Kog'Maw to start proccing those predators and taking out units. He is rolling down a lot of gold. We're going to see where DXN ends up.
He needs to roll down all of it right now.
He finds.
Okay, and I guess he finds that Nocturne. So pitting 2 steel, and there's the Zed. Does pick up the Zed. I think the Zed is better than the Nocturne. And
yeah, I would agree. I do like getting that electric up. We're going to see if this Ornn is able to do enough work to keep DXN alive, trying to set up this Kog'Maw. We're going to see it walk straight in. The Sivir got the attack speed slow on her already. That bodes well for DXN as the Kog'Maw is able to free hit in the back, and the electric keeps proccing repeatedly. It's still a lot closer than you would like if you're DXN, and it looks like he's still not going to have enough, but he won't go down
No.
quite yet. He's just going to go down to 3 HP.
It was looking very good for a few moments there. You know, the Orin inside a lot of the enemy team there wasn't quite next to the Sivir, but still that 250 AoE damage from the electrics really did a lot. It just wasn't quite enough. Does end up selling that Nocturne, so a few gold lost, but the Extent really isn't going to have the chance to go to level 8, it seems, unless it just keeps on win streaking, and his comp might be strong enough to do that, but decides to keep on rolling and trying to fish for that Volibear, maybe to get him to 3 stars, I would assume.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be continuing to fish for that. TXN so low.
We see a Mage Kindred on their side. That's not something I've seen quite a lot. Isn't going to be enough here. I want to take a bet that DXN's composition will win, but we'll see how this goes. Maybe not.
Yeah, let's see how much burst damage this Kindred's got. I mean, able to take down enough units here. I don't think Kog'Maw's going to have enough uptime here. No, DXN's going to fall here to Bentobot. Bentobot trying to hold on himself. Sitting at 6 right now, 14 HP. Not looking so great in his own HP department. Tuyohei been able to hold on to this lead the entire time. Not as dominantly as we've seen others in that position of having that win streak early on, but still holding on to first place the entire time. And we'll see if he's able to continue to hold it. It is looking like a top 4 performance for him, but first place I think is still very much up in the air.
Yeah, definitely. I could see any one of the top 4. Honestly, even Bentobot could come back and make a first place here as soon as he's able to level up and fit 3 summoners in. That's a huge power spike. So yeah, this game is far from decided, but at least Bentobot wants to, you know, try to get up a couple more placements. Because points, you know, you get increased points for replacement. So unlike previous scoring system, where 8th through 5th all get 0 points, you will get more than the players who placed below you. So every point does matter in winning tonight.
Yeah, and it looks like Bentobot is going to take a lot of damage here. Yeah, he's going to go down. Quite a bit of damage firing off into him, and he's going to go out at 6th. He was hoping to hang on to just get past Kladeous, but not able to in the end. Their composition just not strong enough without that upgrade.
Needed to just win one more round in order to level up to 8, so really unfortunate it wasn't able to do that there. This is the carousel round where there's all completed items, so players are going to get a massive power spike potentially, depending on what they find. Looks like there's a Bloodthirster, Frozen Heart, Thornmail even picked up. I wonder who they're going to put that on. Thornmail, not one of the very popular items right now. Yeah, Bloodthirster taking my Tuyohei. Puts it on the Zed. Wonder if that'll be the difference of, you know, maybe Zed living or dying. I know that is a good item for Master Yi, but it is only a Master Yi 1. But yeah, Tuyohei is still looking very strong right now with his composition here. Decided to still stick with the 6 summoners.
And the Z2 being a very powerful unit has the Shadow as well. He is electric actually, but still a lot of damage can come out of that Zed. He's got the Spear of Shojin as well as that Bloodthirster. We're going to see him get on the back line here and try and do a lot of work. One of those units we do see as a hypercarry quite often.
Yeah, and Godant has that Malzahar, double Shojins, and the Mage Cap summoning a lot of Voidlings out there. But all the Zeds are being summoned as well, and I think that is going to not be enough. Not sure how much Godant's HP was, but...
He had a lot. He had quite a bit, but he also lost quite a lot of health there off of that round. Getting absolutely decimated by Tuyohei there. Taking probably upwards of 20 damage on that round, dropping down quite a bit.
Yeah, has the 6 Mage though, and picks up a Master Yi too. What's Godant going to decide to replace for this one? Maybe wants to go for 6 or for 4 Shadows over 6 Mages? Not quite sure. It takes out Summoners, actually.
Keeping the 6 Mages doesn't end up at 4 Shadow.
Yeah, only 3 Shadow.
Oh, who's he missing?
In terms of Shadow,
Yeah, in terms of Shadow.
Kindred and Scion, I believe.
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
either of those units.
If he could pick up one of those, could be pretty good to get that extra attack damage onto his Master Yi. Foreshadow being incredibly powerful. Foreshadow 6 Mage as a comp, though, seems kind of interesting.
There is a Kindred. Unfortunately, Claudius does go out in 5th place there, was hanging on for a bit with low HP, but was indeed taken out. There is a Runans here for Godant, who sells the Yorick. Okay, so taking out Summoners completely in favor of those Shadows.
Well, if you're going to take out one, I suppose taking out the other does make sense here. I do like that, at least committing to that. Shadow Mage, not a traditional combo, but seemingly it could be all right. I mean, Shadow is just very strong in and of itself.
Yeah, it is indeed. I'm really curious to see if Godant can stabilize here. Decides to put both those items that were on Yorick on Master Yi. Probably going to throw the Runans on him as well. I wonder if just a Foreshadow Master Yi 2-star is going to be able to carry. I mean, Malzahar summons were definitely doing a lot of the work beforehand, but they're not going to get the benefits of the summoner buff anymore.
I wonder if Godant is really just going to... He's just trying to survive as long as he can. He thinks this is more powerful right this second.
Yeah.
Then maybe the other thing would be in the future. And so he's going for this to try and get him, just one place higher in order to score more points in this point-based 4-match system that we have. It could be the strategy that he's employing here, and definitely a good strategy when it comes to Fight Night, making sure that you're getting every single point possible.
Yeah, Godant facing Kymzi here, who has been very strong throughout the course of this game here. As the fight erupts, the Nami wave goes throughout the whole team. Malzahar summoning so many Voidlings. Master Yi goes to town. The Kindred trying to stay alive on the side of Kymzi. Is she able to do it? The Kindred's kiting out of her mind, actually. It looks like she might be able to do it.
A couple more Voidlings, but all of these Shadows all over the board. So many Zeds. Oh, not a lot of damage actually done to Godant, though, as most of those were summons. So
yeah, the summons don't deal any damage. Fortunately for Godant there, otherwise he would have been doomed. But that Kindred was so close to dying, but did indeed survive, and that made the difference.
Yeah, absolutely able to stay up. Hopefully trying to hold on to continue to stay in this game and pick up one extra point if he can. Just has to hold on a little bit longer than Rayditz, who we haven't checked in on in a little bit. So let's go ahead and take a look if we can. And
for Electric, has an Electric Lux 2 with a Spell Crit Glove, Death Cap, and a Rage Blade. That's going to be doing a lot of damage.
Let's try and check this laser. Let's beep this laser. Let's see what happens. It's going to go out.
Oh my. 1,800 damage across the board. Oh my, another one.
Yo, where'd Kindred go?
I don't know. I blinked and I missed it. But is it going to be enough? Can Lux 1v9 carry?
No, it's not. It's not actually enough. I don't think
so.
No, Rayditz is actually going to lose a little bit of HP here. Not too much, but Godant did actually go down on that round. Not able to hold out long enough, even though Rayditz is not able to win his round either. But that Lux is a little bit spooky. If Rayditz can just find a little bit of front line, try and stay alive a little bit longer.
Ooh, what's looking? What's this? Yorick. Yorick, a very powerful unit. I'd be surprised if Rayditz would take out the Yorick. Okay, yeah, does throw the Yorick back in there. Has a couple of Namis on the bench. Decides to put a Nami in for a Zyra. Already has the 3 summoners.
He's trying to go for the 2 Mystic eventually, I think. Is what he's looking for. Trying to get that resist up. We're going to see the Lux, though, if we can get a good line to skill shot here. Going to take out the Vygar. Going to get another one. Going to take out... Ooh, not quite enough to take out the tier 3 Kindred, but we're going to see another one. Not going to hit the Kindred. Ooh. The Kindred staying up. The Kindred. Ooh, look at the moves. Look at the plays. Kindred, what was that? Gets away from it.
And that'll be exact
Rayditz is
damage to
gonna go
take out
down.
Rayditz. Oh
Woo!
no.
Look at a little
That's so
clean there.
unfortunate. The Kindred outplay.
Kindred
onto
with the
Lux
footsies,
there.
the jukesies getting out the way of that laser from Lux, able to take down Rayditz, put him out in third. He's still going to pick up a couple points for himself, though not too shabby for him.
Not too shabby indeed, but you know what else is not too shabby? Kymzi picking up that Master Yi 2 along with the Kindred 3 that she picked up for the last round. Has a Nami 2 and a Zed 2. I don't know if Kymzi's gonna get taken down by Tiohei here. She's on a win streak, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna continue here.
Now, remind me how the shadow buff reads. Would it increase the damage of that Thornmail's Reflect by 100% as well? If he's
It should not interact with
auto
items.
attack damage.
Yeah, just their auto attack and ability damage,
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't believe it extends.
But
Yeah,
not
it shouldn't
items.
extend to the items. No.
Okay, yeah. I could see that being problematic if it extended to items.
Yeah,
not
probably.
necessarily for Thornmail in specifically, but just
Like
in
Ionic
general.
Spark,
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like that,
exactly the item I was considering. But
going
still
into
a
this fight
Thornmail Yi, trying to give it a little bit more uptime, keep it alive to get those auto attacks off. But Kymzi's kind of getting
Ooh.
demolished by Tuyohei's summoner comp here.
Yeah.
Kind of coming online. I mean, the 6 summoners really working out at this point. Tuyohei going to be able to put a lot of damage onto Kymzi. Actually, a lot less than I expected, seeing as how that was like 90% summons.
Yeah, that can
Keeping
get you
confused by that.
sometimes. We get some more bits from Angry Dwarf 14. Thank you very much. 1500. Throwing some support out there. Those Fight Night emotes in the chat. Thank you very much. Appreciated. Yeah, this is an intense game, so a really good one to show your support. You know, let us know who you want to see win this, Kymzi or Tuyohei. I think this could go either way. I'm not sure. It looked fairly convincing last fight, but hey, a tier 2 Yi and a tier 3 Kindred. I'd be surprised if I couldn't take at least one win.
I mean, Tuyohei coming in with that Highlander synergies that we had seen previously last week. Specifically, I'm thinking of a game where Kladeous had something like 8 or 9 synergies on the board. Right now, we're seeing Tuyohei sitting at 6 separate synergies, providing a lot of added strength to his composition. And it's looking like it is going to keep Kymzi down, winning pretty much every round. It's just a kind of a slow burn as these summons aren't doing any extra damage. But
yeah, Kymzi has time to be able to figure out how she is going to come back and win this. I mean, her composition already looks so strong. Maybe she'll get enough gold here and be able to survive an extra round to level up. Maybe fitting in, I don't know, another ranger to buff Kindred up, but just fit in something, because currently right now it is not working out for her. The Tuyohei summons are extremely strong.
Yeah, and we're gonna see yet another Thornmail for Kymzi.
Double
Not
Thornmail,
sure if that's the item she really was wanting to see here.
Probably not.
I'm trying to think what she would want to see here. Probably some kind of mage item for one of these backliners, as she's got the rest of her comp pretty stacked, but she's gonna have to make do with a Thornmail. We'll see where that ends up going.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Either would have wanted, you know, an AP item, as you mentioned, or an item for Master Yi. Maybe Rage Blade or Bloodthirst or Hand of Justice even. Decides to spread those items out once the attack speed on the Yi, so just puts Thornmail on the Annie in the front line. The goal of the Annie there is just to take enough damage for her to get her ultimate off, and then probably quickly die after that, just buying a little bit of time for those backliners to do work.
Yeah, for sure. Just trying to hold on. We'll see if the Thornmail is enough for Kymzi to take a win off of Tuyohei, whose summoners have been doing work so far.
Adjusted the position slightly. Is that going to be what she needs? The Zed jumps in the corner next to the Kindred, and Kindred takes out the Zed early. There still is a clone up, though. Will it be able to keep multiplying?
Kindred putting out a good amount of damage, still trying to do her very best. Still staying alive. The summons are trying to hit her, but the rest of her composition is crumbling around her, and I don't think Kindred is going to be able to carry this one through. That's going to be a lot dead again for very little damage yet again going on to Kymzi. So she's going to stay up, even though it seemed like such a decisive victory from Tuyohei. mostly just summons alive again.
Yeah, I think it just clicked for me why Tuyohei's composition is so strong. It's because Tuyohei is able to fit 3 lights in there, so these Yorick minions do get healed up by that, and Kindred spending time auto-attacking those units, which are super tanky, given the fact that there is 6 summoner on the other, yeah, 6 summoner on the side of Tuyohei, so it's just not enough for Kindred to be able to deal with, and Sivir and Zed and Yi are able to just clean up in the meantime. That 3 light really paid dividends here.
Yeah, we're going to watch that again, see these minions trying to pick up a little bit of healing when things go down, but really this time around it seems to be a slaughter, but I guess we'll see how many actual units are alive at the end. This time quite a few, and it's definitely more than enough damage. Tuyohei gonna start out leading with that win streak and gonna end the game in first place. Yet again, we're seeing this happen. Players able to grab that early lead and roll with it for as long as possible, getting that extra economy, getting the ability to get those even stronger and stronger throughout the game and keep that win streak, converting it into wins. That seems to be the meta so far of this set 2, at least from what we've seen in Fight Night.
Definitely. I think if DXN was able to maybe find those units he was rolling for with that hyper roll predator poison composition, that's one that I see winning a lot of games, but I think it was just a little bit unlucky there. No one was really contesting him, but still wasn't able to find those units. But definitely big shout out to Tuyohei there, playing that game phenomenally, I think. All of his synergies at the end there, you know, that moment of realization for me why he was exactly so strong. I think that was a brilliant composition. I'm excited to see what he brings into the next game. Get a little score update here, Casanova. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at Tuyohei, 13 points, picking up that first place finish. Kymzi, who had some kind of ups and downs in our last week, some 8th and 7th places, but also a first place, gonna finish this round in second, picking up 12 points for herself. The defending champ, Rayditz, picking up 10, and we see a smattering of points across the board, but Godant, importantly, was in 4th, that top 4, still scoring the lion's share of the points, but we see a little bit added to everyone else as well. Tuyohei looking to bring some really creative stuff, and I'm excited to see that. I don't think Tuyohei had maybe his best showing last week, but definitely starting out strong this week. And with that, you know, let's go ahead and take it into game number 2, right?
Yep, getting it real quick here. Already loading it up. I wonder, do you think anyone is going to, anyone that you saw last game, you know, maybe with an interesting composition but didn't quite work out, are they gonna be able to do it this game? And who are you looking at for that?
Well, you know, I did kind of like what was happening with Rayditz Azir, but I also, at the end of the day, feel like he just played that out of necessity, and I do like that maybe he was not dealt the best hand, but he still ended up finding his way into that top 4, even scoring himself 3rd place. Still constantly impressing us is Rayditz. I think he's a very solid player. So always looking at him to be the top dog. But DXN, I felt like he was able to hit a lot of the units that he was looking for, and it didn't pay off. So I'm interested to see if he's going to kind of drop that strategy and try something else, or if he'll go for that hyper rolling. And that's really the story that I'm kind of wanting to look at here, and see if DXN kind of expands into a different kind of style instead of sticking to his guns and going for that Predator yet again.
Yeah, indeed. It'll be interesting because hyper rolling is pretty strong right now, but maybe we'll want to switch it up and just go for consistent placements, because the top 3 in points at the end of the day here will be invited to the next fight night in about a week and a half. It's gonna be the next one, but yeah, making top 3 is very important, and these hyper roll strategies are either gonna go 1st or 8th if you don't hit generally, so it's very risky.
So, important note, for the first time ever in TFT Fight Night history, we have an ocean map.
Oh, really?
So I'm gonna need you to break down the ocean map for me, Khroen. That's what I'm gonna need from you.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. So the Ocean Hex will give plus 30 starting mana to any unit that stands in it. Of course, as usual, it does take up an item slot, but some interesting things about the Ocean map is that Kiana, whose element changes with the map, will be Ocean this game. Generally not one of her strongest synergies, but maybe someone will get creative with that. But it also raises the priority of items such as Spear of Shojin, being able to have extra starting mana to use your ultimate faster and then start generating that, I believe it's 18% of your maximum mana per attack. Able to stack that faster is going to be very, very strong. As well as Summoner and Mage compositions here, things that use their mana more effectively, I would say, than a lot of other units. It'll be interesting to see how players approach this map.
Yeah, I'm personally very excited for the Ocean map due to the fact that we haven't seen it yet, of course. And I just love seeing the kind of adaptations that we get. Like, do they go for that early winning strategy, but maybe run a couple extra mages? Are there certain mages that are good? Do they go for hyper rolling? Is that something that they like to do with the Ocean? Does it affect that at all? Like, maybe go into hyper rolling a little bit more and let us, like, give us a little bit of insights into see maybe it is good on Ocean, maybe it's not. What are the strengths and weaknesses of it?
Yeah, for sure. Well, to just quickly overlay hyper rolling, it's when you're looking for a very, very specific few units, you're not going to want to level up at all. And you want to save up all your gold as much as you can until round 3-1 after the Krugs, and you're going to want to roll to hit all those 3-star units and ones that might be good on this map. I've seen a Woodland Mage be pretty effective. You're going to look for Maokai, Iverns, LeBlancs, as well as Syndra and Vladimir, getting 3 synergies with only 5 units. Actually 4 synergies, Woodland Druid and Ocean Mage alongside that. I've also seen people just roll for the mages with Nautilus Thresh, so 4 Ocean and Mage. I'm not sure how consistent that strategy is. I haven't seen a ton of it, but it is an option and maybe one that players will try to do this game. Maybe even Kladeous here. Heard he has 3 Vladimirs, a Syndra offered to him in the shop, and a couple of Threshes on the board as well.
Yeah, he does kind of have the opportunity to go into Ocean here, but so far not really looking like he wants to. He does have the entire round to decide and think if he wants to pick up that Syndra, but he's also sitting on quite a few pairs. I'm not sure if he wants to hold any more gold on his bench right now, but he does end up picking it up. So he's going to keep the option open to go for the Oceans, because he's kind of getting bodied on his board right now. He's going to take a good amount of damage here. Obviously, it is an early round, so it's not going to hurt too bad. But 8 damage on that one, of course, not really what you're wanting to see. Does kind of give you the opportunity on the carousel, though, if you continue to not do well in the early game.
Yeah, it is the sacrifice, and there are a lot of options on his bench there. There was the options for lights, Ocean Mages, and for Woodlands, so we'll see which one that Kladeous ends up hitting there. But moving over to DXN, we have a very strong start in a Warwick 2, as well as a Varus, Kindred, and Malzahar. Already getting that 2 Ranger, 2 Shadow, with Kindred obviously being a very strong unit. Had a couple of tiers and decided to make that redemption. I like that choice, and I think that other tier wants to become a Spear of Shojin. Malzahar on the Ocean Hex will instantly ultimate with a Spear of Shojin, and so he instantly gains that benefit and will start regenning mana.
That seems incredibly strong, something I've yet to witness, and I'm hoping that he can find that Spear of Shojin. DXN was one of the players I was talking about. I think he's a very strong player, but he does seem to rely on that kind of Predator hyper rolling strategy quite a bit. And so I want to see him kind of step away from that. And it looks like he may end up doing that in this game, seeing as how he was offered some other very powerful options with this Ocean Hex. Yeah. And maybe we'll see if he can start getting a win streak rolling. Obviously not winning that round, but maybe that will open up something on the carousel. Maybe he's able to grab one of these swords and turn it into that spear that he needs to maybe start picking up a lot of wins on these rounds. And we're going to see him probably go for one, and he does. Yep. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to see this out of DXN. I'm excited to see the interaction of the Malzahar. And I'm hoping that DXN can show us something different, show us something kind of new that we haven't seen yet, and really pull out the victory here, because we know he's such a strong player. And he's yet to have his fully breakout Fight Night where he's kind of dominating in a way that we know he can.
Indeed, and yeah, I think there was another Warwick and a couple of Orns offered to him in the previous shop, so not opting to go for those, which makes me think that we will see a sort of new strategy out of him this game. Moving on over back to God Ant, we have a Diana with Infinity Edge and a Rod. I have played and seen a little bit of Spell Crit Diana with making her a mage. I'm not quite sure we're going to see the mage happening, maybe further down along the line, but that is a Diana to really keep your eyes on here.
Okay, so Spell Crit, so basically just because she hits so many units, just having that bonus damage. Is it a high base damage ability? So therefore benefiting well off the crit? Yeah.
It is.
So
I'm not sure exactly how much damage Diana's ability does, but it will do a lot. And making her a mage, giving her Jeweled Gauntlet for that spell crit, and then Infinity Edge, along with having one more assassin to give the 3 assassin buff, it wipes teams. I've seen it actually 1v9. It will summon, 8 orbs for AoE damage all around her. It's quite a sight to see.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen Diana's wiping team, so definitely not a new concept, but maybe a new way of it happening, and maybe even a more effective way of us seeing the Diana do just that.
Yeah, I think that was Godant going to level 6 before the Krug round. That is something that we don't see every day. In fact, not even often at all.
I can say that I'm not sure I've actually seen someone go to level 6 before the Krug round on this patch. I'm not certain that I've seen that happen yet.
Very rarely.
He is in first place, so kind of playing to that strategy we've talked about being so effective so far of just grabbing that lead and running with it, sticking with your win streak as long as you can, and going to 6 allows him to put in another unit, get some extra synergies. He's got 3 Woodland, he's got 2 Druid, he's got 3 Assassin.
I mean, it could have taken out the Vayne for the Kiana, but opted to, as you stated, want to keep that win streak. But, alongside that, with being strong and having that win streak, you do want to be generating a lot of gold. So I wonder if that investment is going to be worth it for Godant in the long run, or will he fall off in the later stages of the game because of that? That's a lot of gold to spend to get level 6 before Krugs. So
I think we will get our answer honestly very shortly.
I think so too.
If God Ant can hit some more of these T2 units, I'm looking at this Kiana, this LeBlanc, this Ivern. If he can find some of these tier 2s, potentially other tier 2s, but just specifically looking at his current composition, he will have enough power on the board with the extra unit to keep his win streak going. He has synergies that are strong in the early game. He just needs the units to match that. So realistically, if he can keep that going, if he can get a little bit lucky on these draws, he was able to still keep 10 gold. He had a little bit of income, and he still has the income from the hot streak. So we could see him keep this for quite a while. Interesting spawn on the Ocean Hex, though. That seems very beneficial for a mage composition.
It does, but also keep in mind the fact that it's very easy to place assassins in the opposite corner and have them take out those mages, because the hexes aren't in the far back. The assassins can jump behind them probably and be able to take them out. It just depends on how many people are actually playing assassins this game.
And we do see God Ant is running those assassins. Yeah. So we'll have to see what's going to happen. I mean, they're going to jump in and take down that character right away, going to go onto the Maokai, but there's assassins on the other side as well, the Diana and the LeBlanc. Diana doing a lot of damage yet again, but whew, that was a big crit for one of those assassins there. Going to take her down right away.
Yeah.
God Ant going to keep the streak.
Indeed, keeping the streak, which is important. Does decide to put in a Kha'Zix. Yeah, does decide to put in a Kha'Zix. Now, Kha'Zix with Seraphs is very strong, but I wonder if he'll decide to put that in the Ocean Hex later. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, this is the round where most players will be going to level 6. So let's check in with these other players. Kladeous is on 4 Ocean, Mage, and Wardens. Does have a random Maokai, yeah, wants to take that out, maybe.
Maybe looking for a little bit more front line. Just gonna leave it in, try and eat a few attacks. No, gonna go ahead and fit in that Kiana. Now, Godhand has kind of lost his advantage of having 6 units over everyone else now.
Yeah.
Do you think his composition still has enough to kind of stay in? It's kind of just that carry Diana and just hoping for the best.
I think it might. I think Diana is a very strong unit and a few assassins. I believe Godhand had that. Had that Kiana as well. So I'm not quite sure, but I don't think that if he loses, it'll be by a lot. It'll probably be very close.
Yeah, Claudia's taken a beating already, down to 50 HP. Kymzi not far behind, though, at the 59. Godhand able to hold on to his streak, just keeping tabs of that, constantly watching that, as it seems to be kind of the path to victory on the patch right now, is that win streak. Rayditz not far behind, so that's a matchup we want to be looking out for. Godant versus Rayditz, if they play against each other, we want to be seeing that. Who's going to come out on top?
Yeah, speaking of Hyperroll, there is at least one person doing it per game, and that person is Kymzi this round. She is investing into it. Oh, but I understand why Rayditz is so strong right now. That 3-item Nocturne too.
Yikes!
With Blade Master.
Oh my god!
And Infinity Edge. Yeah. What happened that fight, Casa? Where'd the units go?
Yo, wait, did the round start?
I think it did, and I think it has ended, and the Nocturne was the one to do it. Lights out for the team of Kymzi there. That is probably perfect items on Nocturne. Maybe I could see an argument for having a disarm item over the Rage Blade, perhaps, but that's definitely, you're not upset if you rate it to have those items on Nocturne. Have them at tier 2 already with that Blade Master synergy.
No,
there's a reason he's on a win streak.
I think not. I think you're quite happy with that one. I wouldn't be surprised if Rayditz looks for a T3 Nocturne in this game. I think it's early enough on to have the T2. I think it's a powerful unit. We could see him go for it if he gets a little bit lucky. Obviously not going to put all his eggs into one basket with that. Of course, trying to build the rest of his comp around it, but being able to find a T3, he's already got one extra on the bench there. I believe that was just a T1 on the bench. It did look kind of big. I'm a little bit concerned it's a T2, but I don't think it is.
I don't think so. I'm not sure. Was it a Nocturne or a Rek'Sai? It was another Nocturne.
Okay, it was a T1. I think the Rek'Sai next to it
if there was
like making it look big, and I was just like a little concerned for everyone else in this game. Everyone can calm down. You can all calm. It's okay. You chill out. It's fine.
I would be concerned personally if there was two Nocturnes instead of Rayditz on around 3-5 or even 3-4, because that would have had that last round, but no. But I guess he is looking for that eventually. Is probably strong enough to keep win streaking. Has a couple deserts, Blade Master, steals, assassins. Literally every single synergy on the board for Rayditz benefits Nocturne in some way. So he is looking to be that massive carry to propel Rayditz forward into the late game here.
I think he's so strong, I don't even see it as like a greedy play to go for the T3. No. I think it's pretty reasonable that he'll get it at some point this... It's a little bit gross there. A little bit.
Just a tad. It has a tier 1 Diana in there, tier 1 Kiana, but it doesn't matter. Those units are just there to say, hey, Nocturne, you go carry the fight, bud. And he says, I got just that and more. Probably going to be carrying fights for a very long time. Checking back in with Kymzi here. She's starting to roll a little bit even before the Wolf round. Usually if players don't hit those tier 3 units from hyper rolling, they will wait until after the Wolf round to roll, but oh man, choices have to be made. Kymzi has to sell off some of these units here in order to pick up other ones.
Gotta find. There's a
feel good. Another Rek'Sai.
Oh. Did I was reading wrong. My reading comprehension not looking good today, but able to find a Mundo. Instead, I thought I saw a Warwick. I was like, oh, there we go. It wasn't a Warwick, I guess. It was.
It
was not that.
I didn't see it. Might have been a Volibear or something. I don't know. Some of the units look pretty similar in this set, but
yeah, I mean, I know League of Legends well enough that I should not make that mistake, to be honest.
Yeah,
I've been playing this game far too long to confuse champions, so yeah.
Just for a little bit. I mean, hey, I've played the game for a pretty long time as well, but sometimes if I'm looking at things very quickly, when I'm hyper rolling, I see an Orin portrait and a Warwick. They have the similar color scheme. It looks pretty much the same. But no, Kymzi is still level 5 here, still rolling, is one away. Okay, there's
Oh,
the
see,
Warwick.
there it is. Yeah, Warwick. See, I told you. It was right there, like
Yeah,
the whole
all
time.
along, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, okay,
Definitely, I
okay. She
didn't
finally
trust
saw
that.
it. I'm glad she was able to spot it there. I just saw it a few rounds earlier. That's okay.
Yeah, you had that foresight into the future,
yeah.
maybe, about what she was going to find.
Yeah, of course.
But no money on a 10 loss streak. 31 HP on Wolves. It is not looking good for Kymzi here. You know, I talked up this Predator Poison Electric composition, but it seems that players have not been able to really get it online thus far. You know, have been struggling, not finding those tier 3 units after Krugs as you really want to. At the latest, you know, you want to be strong enough to econ and find them after the Wolf round, but already 31 HP and about no money right now. It's just not looking good.
I mean, you know, the best part about like losing 10 rounds in a row is it doesn't get much worse. So you can definitely
you get a lot of money. You get a lot of money for that as well.
Yeah, that's true. You definitely get like a good loss streak. How much is the loss streak at 10 down?
It's +3. It doesn't go higher than that.
So yeah, it, actually the worst part about being at a 10 loss streak is it can't get better than that.
The items also for Kymzi, it's unfortunate that they're not really that great. She does decide to make a couple of Frozen Hearts, which I think is a good use of the items that she did have there. But I don't know, maybe she needs to make the Zephyr as well. This Warwick, it is tier 3 now. It's going to be one of her only hopes in stabilizing this game.
It's no Skarner though. It's not doing the big carry. Well, actually, you know, it's
maybe
it's going to be enough. It is going to be enough on this one. It's going to be able to find that win, breaking the loss streak and losing the gold for Kymzi. No more gold for Kymzi. Did she want to lose that, actually?
Yeah, honestly, I was about to say, I don't even know if winning is that great there for her. I would have rather the +3 gold of maybe taking a little bit
-2 health, -4 health.
Yeah. I mean, 3 gold, 4 health. I'm not really sure which one is more valuable for Kymzi right now.
Yeah.
But does put in the Mundo. Has a tier 2. That's going to be pretty good. I almost wonder if she should take out the Volibear. And take out the Electric Glacial for the poison. Maybe that's not, probably not good enough right now. Maybe taking out the Ornn would be a better play, but
you know,
not sure.
I started by saying, you know, being down at a 10 loss streak, it can't get much worse. But I guess it could. You could win once you're at the 10 loss streak, and then it does get worse. And now she's back to losing. Oh, this is just. You know, Kymzi, again, the story of Kymzi has been just this swingy player of
tier 3 Kog'Maw.
Going big or going home right away, right? Kymzi with like a 1st or a 2nd place finish and then an 8th or a 7th place finish immediately after. Definitely one of the swingier players we have, but she does have those really high highs matched with those low lows, and we definitely love seeing her out here playing TFT. Sending it.
Yeah, indeed. And Kymzi, last week, I think she went for almost every game. She went a hyper roll composition, maybe one, but I believe last game she didn't go hyper roll composition and was able to play standard and do very, very well, but decides to, you know, pick a gambly one this game, and it's not really working out. But as we move on over to DXN here on a 6 win streak with those Shadow, Inferno, Summoner, Rangers, that's the composition I like to see. And,
I think he's losing. I think he lost this one.
Unfortunate.
He was, you know, he is my pick to watch in this game. DXN, someone I definitely respect a lot as a player over multiple titles. He's been consistently just a solid. He's a gamer, you know.
He's definitely a
solid gamer.
And a very, very strong one at that.
Yeah, and he had the 6 win streak there. The composition we did want to look at a little bit with that Malzahar going into the Spear of Shojin. Jeez. But it's not really, it doesn't seem like it's working out that well. I'm trying to see that Malzahar, he keeps jumping back and forth on me. It is tier 2, which of course it probably wouldn't be in if it wasn't anymore. He probably would have moved on from that, but he hasn't really found that many other upgrades, so he's just been winning based on composition alone, it feels like.
Yeah, which I think this is a very, very extremely strong composition. It's able to find a Rage Blade for the Kindred. With a Malzahar, with pairing with that Shojin's, it will in fact also apply Morello's, his Voidling, so that's going to be the next item that he looks for there, but decides to use the Rod not for Morello's, but for the Rage Blade Kindred, which I think is a perfectly fine decision. And I think he'll still be winning a lot of these rounds, especially when he finds the upgrades like that tier 2 Yorick, the tier 2 Vigar, and maybe even Malzahar 3 has a couple of them on the bench as well as the one on the board. And we see Kladeous already leveling up to level 8.
Yeah, and we're going to see Kladeous versus DXN here. DXN trying to get a little bit more out of this Malzahar, a couple more summons. Going to pop one more there, probably going to go down to the Assassins, and still going to lose yet another round. Kind of hitting like a power trough here, as he did win quite a few rounds in a row, but now he's starting to lose quite a bit.
Yeah,
Gonna need to find a few
his gold,
upgrades
though.
here.
Oh, and hits the Yorick.
Well, there we go. So power trough might not last too long. You know, he does have quite a bit of gold. Hits an upgrade. Gonna keep looking for a couple more upgrades as well, of course. And gonna be able to keep econing. He's got a lot of HP to play with. Just doesn't want to dip too low and lose on a random, some RNG in a battle. Of course, that can happen in an auto battler like TFT. So making sure while you use your HP as a resource, you don't allow yourself to dip too low.
Indeed, that is the key word, using your HP as a resource, and players have to realize exactly how much they can afford to lose here. Kymzi has been able to go up to level 7 facing DXN here. The Malzahar did get Zephyr'd, and it looks like the poisons are really, really good against DXN's composition here. Yeah,
DXN definitely going to lose a lot of HP there. Hemorrhaging probably a lot more than he's wanting to right now.
Yeah.
He lost 17 health there. Yeah, Teebs just hanging on. Not having her best night so far. I believe went out at 8th on the last game. Trying to make sure that does not happen again. Does have 6 mage, 4 ocean. So as you said with the ocean tiles, mage is kind of having a little bit more value, but not really working out for Teebs in this game so far.
There's a very, very interesting unit on Teebs' bench here. I believe that is an Ocean Lux. If she's able to get enough gold to level up to 8 here, she already has a Force of Nature to have an extra unit in, and she could be on 9 units at level 8 with 6 mages and 6 oceans. Is that going to be enough, though?
Enough to save you on 2 HP. She better be getting this on this round, or else I think Teebs is going to be history for this game.
She is 1 gold off of leveling right now.
And then she wouldn't even have enough to buy another ocean unit. So she's going to have to survive 1 more round.
Yeah, 1 more round to level up. Decides to just make these items. Has to make the rune ends, I think. Put it on somebody. I would have really liked to see her have enough gold here. Unfortunately, didn't get enough. Decides to roll a little bit. Roll 1 time. Next turn she'll have enough to go to level 8, though, and be able to put that Ocean Lux in for 6 oceans.
Well, we're going to have to see if she can beat DXN, who has been hitting kind of a power trough. So maybe this is her chance to find the win. Her composition doesn't seem to counter DXN's as much as others have, and he's able to get quite a few summons off, and this is looking really bad for Teebs. It looks like she's just going to fall down right here. Another 8th place for Teebs. Unfortunate. Still a strong competitor, just not her night so far, but 2 more games to try and make that up if she can flip it around.
Yeah, I mean, DXN hit that power trough, as you said, but as I looked at his gold there on the bench, it was at 0, or at least near 0, so he had spent everything to get to his composition to be strong, and it did work out for him there. Every single player in this game actually is under 50 HP, and this is a pretty close one, I would say. A lot of the relative strength levels are pretty similar in some of these compositions here tonight in this game.
Yeah, Kymzi has found her way onto a win streak, so even though she's quite low, she's maybe in less danger than God Ant is himself, because he's only 2 HP higher, has not been winning rounds nearly as much, and he's going to go against DXN, who, as you did just state, has spent all his gold, so he's looking pretty strong. This Kindred with quite a few items, putting out a lot of damage.
Ooh, the Olaf going down there really sealed the deal on that fight. Kindred nearly one shot. Olaf is that one of those units that can 1v9 carry, given that it is a good fight for him to do so, but DXN's composition still just a bit more powerful. The poisons weren't enough with the Olaf for Godhead to be able to win that one.
Yeah, and the Malzahar still pumping out like a very healthy amount of damage. It did seem to die fairly quickly, but getting enough Voidlings out that there's continually putting out that damage while the Kindred cleans up the fights. Working out pretty well for DXN right now as he's able to hold on to that first place position. He's hoping he can hold on to it for the rest of the game. I'm kind of hoping he can, because I was calling him out at the start saying, play something else, don't hyper roll this time, try something new, and it's working out for him so far. We'll see if he can hang on, though, as it does seem to be a very close race.
Definitely close race indeed. Kymzi does have enough gold to level up to 8, but is choosing not to do so right now. Probably wants to look to fit in that Olaf. Either that or an electric unit, whether it be Lux or the Zed, would be very, very strong for her. I think she's still just strong enough right now. A good call to not want to spend all of her gold, because she's strong enough to beat many other players, including the clone of whoever's composition this was. I'm not quite sure. Look at DXN versus BentoBot here. Kindred versus Kindred. But DXN's composition was a bit stronger. The Kindreds on both sides, they're doing a lot of damage. I think it was an 8,000 damage Kindred versus a 5,000 damage Kindred. Both doing top damage for both teams there.
Yeah, I mean, Kindred, even last week, kind of came out as a front runner for us as one of the better units in this set so far. Definitely with that Shadow synergy, just dealing so much damage. Definitely a strong pickup for many different compositions.
Definitely. BentoBot here picking up a Force of Nature, so being able to add that +1 unit in. I'm gonna have to check in with BentoBot to see if that can be what he needs to stabilize here. Has been losing a little bit of HP. Maybe this is enough. I wonder if he even has a unit to put in that he wants.
Generally, at this point in the game, picking up a Force of Nature is pretty good, as it kind of equals out to like about 64 gold worth of value, seeing as how it would cost you about that much in order to put another unit in.
Yeah.
So, pretty solid item. I mean, I would take 64 gold generally in a TFT game. I think that's not bad. It's an alright thing. It's like an okay item, like it's like it's decent.
This is interesting by BentoBot here. Decides to put 3 electric in, but those electric units with the Zed and the Lux are only tier 1. Decides to sell a tier 2 Malphite. Was that the correct play here? We see Tiohei going up against BentoBot.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see a huge tsunami coming through, trying to do a bit of damage, mostly the crowd control coming through. We're gonna see these redemptions procking another tidal wave coming across, but we're gonna see all the Yorick the little goblins able to find a couple of kills and seal that round for BentoBot. Gonna keep him doing all right. It seems the electric paid off a little bit. It didn't seem like that necessarily was the catalyst to the victory, but did enough work for him to find that win.
Yeah, it did.
It's a very, very close race. Look at 3 people in single digits. We're still only have one person out of this game, and the highest health person is at 32.
Checking with Rayditz. Rayditz was able to find 6 assassins, is on a 5 losing streak right now. Doesn't have the tier 3 Nocturne as we thought he might.
Gonna go against a Phantom Army. That's pretty fortunate.
I mean, still, if he loses, he's out of the game. So, yeah, the Kiana, though, hitting a really good stun there.
Yeah, he's going to be okay here.
Looks like it, indeed. I mean, 2 players getting eliminated there. Tiohei in 7th and Godant in 6th. Kymzi takes a loss, but not enough to eliminate her from this game. DXN in 2nd, Kladeous in 1st, BentoBot in 3rd. This is a very, very close one right now. Curious to take a look onto Cladeous' bench. Yeah, we do check in 6 Oceans. In fact, very, very interesting. On level 9, yeah, has all the Ocean units. The Kiana as well for the map is Ocean. Still has that Syndra with the Spell Crit, Morello's Ionic, some strong items there. That 2/2 Nami looking scary as well. The 2/2 Nami actually has enough mana to nearly ultimate instantly.
Yeah, I kind
that
of like
Ocean
it on
X.
the Ocean tile,
Yeah.
unless if you take it off, if the first auto attack still procs the ability to cast the ultimate. I'm not sure. I don't think
No,
it's
it
quite
will
enough.
not.
I think it would be 2 auto attacks, maybe 3. So definitely having her on that Ocean tile is huge to get that 1 auto into that tidal wave, get that crowd control rolling right away.
Yeah, I wonder if I have up the amount of auto attacks I'll take to generate mana. I don't think I do right now. Maybe I'll find that information a bit later, but yeah, I think it would be 3 auto attacks for Nami to be able to ultimate if she was not on that hex. So I think it's good that Cladeous does have her on there right now. The only reason I would take her off is maybe finding a Seraph's Embrace to give 40 mana instead of the 30 that the Ocean Hex gives, but Cladeous looking very, very strong here on a 3-win streak. Found that Yi 2, that Yi gives Mystic buff. That's about it. Doesn't have Shadows, but even still. Oh, decides to take the Nami off. Maybe giving the Nami a Death Cap as well.
That's going to be a huge tidal wave going across the entire team. A lot of damage. If she can get one more,
God,
there it goes. Yeah, she pretty much wipes the team, doing quite a bit of the DPS output there. 7,000 coming from the Nami. Pretty good carry. I think the reposition just to get those better tidal waves does seem kind of worth. He may be able to get the same effect by putting it on the tile that the Yi is on. However, it would leave the Nami a little bit more vulnerable.
Yeah, so, it wouldn't be getting the benefit of that extra mana, but yeah, Bentobot goes out in 5th place there. I don't think I've ever seen a Nami do that much damage in a round, at least not that I remember. That Nami did, I believe, over 7,000 damage.
Yeah, it's like 7.3k,
yeah.
I think 7.3, 7.4. Quite a large percentage of that team's damage too. I think around 50% of the entire composition's DPS output. Quite a bit.
Yeah, indeed. Facing against Rayditz with that Nocturne. The Nami wave goes out, hits the whole team.
We have to watch this Nocturne. He's going to be able to proc his passive there, able to stay alive a little bit longer with that lifesteal. And Rayditz is going to hold on at his 2 HP, going to put a little bit of damage on a Kladeous. Will Kymzi hold on as well? I'm not sure. We're going to have to see in just a second. She does. Yeah. She takes down DXN, and DXN's down to 6 health. It's such a close battle. 3 people in single digits, but Kladeous hanging on at 19. I don't know who's going to be able to pull this one out. The Nami seems quite powerful, but it did already fall to Rayditz. So can he come back at that 2 HP, or will he fall to someone else? DXN putting in a Yasuo 1. Will that be enough? I think that was for... I'm not sure which synergy he grabbed with that.
Cloud and Blade Master gets from the Yasuo there. So pretty strong. I think that's the unit that he was looking for. Has the tier 3 Malzahar, but it's going against these Raditz's assassins. How's this one going to go?
Yeah, the tier 3 Malzahar is going to be able to get those Voidling out right away, able to try and start auto-attacking. Doesn't have an enemy on him just yet, so he will be able to get yet another proc. Going to get 4 more Voidlings out, and this Master Yi is popping off, doing a lot of damage. This is just a shadow army, though, so DXN is just... Oh, wait, no, it is not. I didn't see the little legend hiding in the corner. And that's going to be Rayditz going down first, trying to hide, but it does die a little bit faster than Kymzi. Kymzi being smart enough to hide in the corner as well. Both of them showing their experience, showing that they know that they need to hide and try and get any last second. And Kymzi's able to hold on just a little bit longer and pick up that 3rd place finish, grabbing a few extra points in this week's Fight Night.
Yeah, I'm impressed by Kymzi. She was looking a little bit doomed early on in this game, looking like it might have been a bottom 4 finish, but she was able to hold on and stabilize with those Predator and Poisons. I'm not sure if she ended up putting Electric in or the Olaf. I don't quite remember, but either way, impressive to be able to hold on until 3rd in such a close game.
Yeah, now we're going to see DXN versus Kladeous, 2 Titans of Fight Night. We've seen go at it many times. And they're fighting for a 1st place finish in round 2 of this week's Fight Night.
Yeah.
DXN was my pick for this game, but it's looking like an uphill battle.
We'll see, will the Malzahar 3 be able to take it, or that Nami?
That's a big tidal wave. Malzahar 3 getting a couple more Voidlings out. Can he get one more cast? No, he cannot, but Nami's going to be able to cast again. She might be able to cast a third time. We'll see. We've got a Yorick and a Ghoul on it. There it goes. Ocean Man going ahead and throw a couple tidal waves, but Kladeous going to lose this one, and DXN's keeping it really close, 4 HP to 6.
Single digits for both players right now. If whoever loses the next round is going to be out. Maybe some repositioning to happen here. I'm not sure. What's gonna make the difference? That Phantom Dancer wasn't quite in yet, but is put on the Zed now. This is an intense one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see a few little repositions going on, a little bit of footsie from Kladeous, but we really just have to watch that Nami versus that Malzahar and Yi.
Yeah, DXN scouting until last second there.
Moves the Yi up a little bit. We're going to see 2 Yis going at it. One Yi hitting the other. The other is focusing on Nautilus right now. The pop-up coming out of the Nami. We're going to see a couple summons coming out of this Malzahar, but it's already very close. And we're going to see Nami proc yet again. And that's going to hit everybody. A lot of damage coming out. And that looks like it might have been enough. Whatever Kladeous was able to do, whatever he was able to find on that last round is probably going to be enough for him to take this over DXN. Does he have enough alive, or are they mostly summons? It looks like he has enough alive. And Kladeous will take down DXN. DXN still with a very good showing. I'm glad that he did not just run it back with that Predator composition yet again. He tried for something else and was able to find a second place finish in a very close fashion. That really could have gone either way between him and Kladeous there. They're both going to pick up quite a few points.
Yeah, speaking of going either way there, can I be a little bit critical of DXN's placement of the Master Yi there? It did walk forward and got hushed, I believe, by the Nami, and I think that's probably what sealed the deal of that fight. Moving that Yi forward to tank damage earlier, might help him get his ultimate off, but instead, the hush being there really just made it so that he instantly died and lost the fight, I believe, as a result of that. But still, overall, very, very close game. It's those small decisions you're thinking about so much as these players now. But second is definitely not bad, scoring 12 points. For DXN there.
Absolutely. Just a small nuance in TFT that makes the difference of the great players and the good players. And DXN's still a great player, but sometimes you make mistakes and you get punished when that happens. Not able to pick up the first place there, potentially off that mistake, but still very much in the running, has a lot of points to his name. But Kymzi currently rocking that first place. Was talking about her being a very polar player, going from like first to last constantly, but she was able to pull that game back from the depths and pick up a third place, netting herself 10 points on that one and putting her at 22 total on the night so far. Not far behind her is Kladeous, and then Rayditz, followed by 2 Yohei and DXN chasing at their heels. But with that, we're going to go ahead and send this one over to a break before we get right back into some TFT Fight Night action here on Heroes Hearth. Thank you guys so much, and we will be right back.
Welcome back, everybody, to this week's HeroesHearth TFT Fight Night. There's already been a couple of very, very exciting games, a lot of new strategies, and just exciting moments. Not with Phantom Hex Deck, because those aren't in the game anymore, but still some exciting moments nonetheless. Casanova, how have you been enjoying these games tonight?
Oh, they've been great. They've been great. I'm excited to see a couple more of them. We've got a really tight race this time. I think the new scoring system's really proving its worth so far, making it really exciting. Quite a few players still in the running for this. If not all of them, I think they all may still technically be in the running to win this week. But of course, we still have Kymzi in the lead at 22, Kladeous not far behind at 19, Rayditz 18, Tuyohei at 17, and DXN at 16 just behind them. That is the tight race we have at the top of the table, and they're going to be fighting for first and another chance to come back, right? Top three get to come back. Rayditz
indeed.
fighting to potentially claim the bounty if he wins.
And become
to know.
back-to-back champion. But yeah, claiming that bounty, it's going to be a lot that is built up over the past however many weeks there's been this fight night, which has, it's been quite a few at this point. So Rayditz definitely going to have his sights on victory as we move into game number 3 here. I wonder if people are going to still go for these risky strategies like these hyper roll compositions. Kymzi did play one last game and it netted her a 3rd place finish. She is currently the points leader right now with a 2nd and a 3rd place, but it seems that not many other players have been able to keep up with that same level of consistency so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to get right into it and see what Drake is this one.
Mountain.
Well, you know what's interesting about Mountain Drake, Khroen?
What, Casanova?
We've never actually had a Mountain Drake on Fight
Wow.
Night. This is the first one.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I'm glad that you have the memory of this because I don't remember which ones were last week. So, first ever Mountain.
So, with that, can we go ahead and get a C9 Khroen breakdown of the Mountain Dragon on TFT?
Okay, C9 Khroen breakdown, a mountain map. Look at that hex. It's going to give plus 30 stacking HP per round. So whatever unit is going to remain in that hex, plus 30 at the end of the round. In terms of the meta on mountain maps, I think it's pretty standard. There's not something like, attack speed or mana or cloud to just negate the effectiveness of a lot of comps. It's just pretty standard map. The standard strong compositions are going to still be the thing to go for. For an item that might be a bit stronger on this map is Warmogs, considering that does heal for a percentage of missing health. So obviously stacking more health is going to net you for healing more in the long run. So maybe we'll see players opt for that. It's not going to be, too much of an added benefit. Maybe if units there over the course of the majority of the game, it'll start to really feel an impact, but we will see. Again, it's very standard.
Do you see an increase of people trying to stick with certain compositions where they can keep their characters for longer and not be cycling through comps because they can then make more use out of the buff? Or do you not generally see that happen too often?
I think it depends. Generally, the rule of thumb is to, say it's round 2-1. You have the basis of your compositions here. Kladeous picking 2 Syndras here. Maybe even going to put that unit in there. But I would just put the unit in the hex that you're going to probably keep for the longest period of time. While sometimes that unit might change, you might, find a completely different composition down along the line, and it's going to be better. But that's okay to switch out the unit that's been, buffed for the mountain hex the past, 10 rounds or something. If you find something better, it's perfectly fine.
All right, but we will see that health stacking up. Nasus we're used to seeing stack up Siphoning Strike on Summoner's Rift, but here we're going to see him stacking up HP on this TFT board. And Tuyohei, seeing if he can grab any items here. Going to pick up a bow. He's got the makings of a Zephyr as well.
Also Runan's Hurricane.
Yeah.
And Titanic Hydra, but that item is pretty underwhelming right now. Tuyohei with 14 gold. Yeah, I think if there's any map that Zephyr is not going to be as valuable on, I think it is Mountain Map, because generally you're not going to have a carry in the Mountain Hex. Sometimes you will, but it's usually going to want to be your tanks, your frontline units. And usually you want to Zephyr the important carry units instead of the tanks. Generally, there are situations where you might want to, but we'll see. Tuyohei with a quick swap at the end there doesn't end up making it. Wanted to put the Volibear in over the Nasus to get that 2 electric in. But,
we'll see if he ends up getting punished. I'm not sure he was going to win that round anyways.
I don't think so. Bentabot looking very strong here with 2 Druids and a Vayne with Rageblade already. Really, really good start there.
Yeah, it's T2 Vayne, T2 Iron at round 2-1. That's pretty good. Pretty decent for Bento Bot there. Definitely helping him out.
Yeah, observing Cladius there. Cladius with a pair of Syndras and making a Ludens, already. That's going to be, I believe, 150 AoE damage every time unit casts a spell. In set 1 of TFT, that did have a bit of an internal cooldown. I believe it was every 4 seconds Ludens can proc, but now it can proc off of every spell cast. So a bit of a buff there. The damage was nerfed, but I think you'll be able to utilize it very effectively here in this game.
Yeah, especially on Syndra, casting out those orbs pretty frequently, able to get a lot of value out of that item.
Yeah, for sure. I've even personally gone, I think I went 3 Ludens on Syndra and had her tier 3 once, and she casted 1 orb and pretty much decimated an entire team. So we'll see if it's able to match that in terms of effectiveness here, or if he's going to want to transition out of that later. Taking a look across the rest of the board here, because Kymzi is scouting, but she is a little bit weak right now, has options on her bench, has the makings of a Ludens of her own, maybe Hand of Justice, Ionic. Not too sure what she wants to do with these right now, but she's just keeping her options open. Is currently the front runner, so wants to be able to maintain at least a top 4 finish, if not go for the victory, of course.
Yeah, that would be absolutely huge for Kymzi if she can stick a top 4 finish. As we did talk about earlier, this new format rewards consistency, and she's gotten a second and a third place, so ending up with a 4th is definitely still in that realm of consistency and will net her a good amount of points, able to kind of keep her rolling on this train of victories, and should be able to help secure her a win unless one of those who are nipping at her heels picks up a first place here.
Yeah, look at Kymzi scouting here. This is actually a very, very impressive play, because I was thinking she might decide to go for a hyper roll this game, because she already has 3 Warwicks and 4 Orns, as well as the Rek'Sai and Kog'Maw. She could still put in Predators right now, but she's scouting to see if she wants to commit to that route. But she did see a lot of other players also have Predators, which would make it a lot harder for her to get those for herself if she was going to go for that hyper roll strategy. So maybe she'll decide to go for something else here, but that's a really, really good heads up play and really stresses the importance of scouting here in set 2.
Absolutely, really excellent play out of Kymzi. One of the technically lower rated players in the lobby, just out of an elo perspective, but showing that she absolutely can compete with these players. We've known this for a while, definitely a strong performer at Fight Nights in the past, and hence why we bring her back. Absolutely just an incredible player, and definitely proving her mettle against these very tough competition of this lobby, and showing time and time again that she's got what it takes.
Yeah, got it there. Going for the cloak and then realizing, hey, maybe I don't want that, and picking the sword instead. Sword, a very good item in this meta right now. Thinking of swords, we haven't really seen a Deathblade being made. Maybe we've seen one, but I actually personally rate Deathblade pretty high. It does give stacking attack damage every time you kill a unit, so it is good on those carries like Kindred and like Olaf. I mean, we haven't seen that many Olafs, maybe only one, but maybe that'll be what some people decide to build later on into this game, or perhaps even the next.
Yeah, absolutely. We see very early GA on Renekton for God Ant, but he is on that 100 HP looking for that win streak, so I think just completing the most cost-effective item that he could at that given time was likely the play, putting it on Renekton, which has seemed to be a pretty good early game unit. We tend to see him disappear as the game goes on, but we've seen quite a few times where Renekton hits a big Kuldamik and just kind of wins around for someone. So throwing this GA onto character like Renekton definitely has the potential to really pop off for Godant, and he's kind of sticking to this this first place strategy, trying to hold on to it. We'll see if he goes for such a brave level up as he has in the past. We did see him go to level 6 before Krugs. Didn't exactly work out perfectly for him, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it didn't end up working out, I think.
Yeah, no, I think God Ant got 5 points last game, so that's a fifth or sixth place finish. So yeah, it didn't end up working
Yeah.
out, unfortunately. So, deciding to cool it on the aggressive leveling this time around. But I did want to go over the point you made about Renekton. Yeah, he is a very strong early game unit, and it's kind of surprising how much he seems to fall off, even like directly after Krugs. Is that early game threat, hitting a big Call the Meek, healing up, winning rounds, but yeah, seems to fall off very, very quickly. So we'll see if God Ant is able to hit that timing and the transitional route out of that Renekton and find another good unit to replace. But up against DXN here, DXN one of the top 3 right now, has a Kha'Zix, but yeah, it gets decimated by that Diana, Ivern's, Renekton. That is very, very strong from God Ant right now.
Yeah, and speaking of the Krugs round, here we go straight into the Krugs round. Let's make sure God Ant is not level 6 yet. Very important note to make.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's gonna be at 5, got 23 gold on him. And just sitting on that Renekton, Diana 2, Ivern 2. Couple upgraded units, looking pretty good.
I do actually want to quickly scroll through pretty much all of the players here to see what their strategies are going to be, and if it is hyper roll here. We see Rayditz scouting other people's boards right now, but has a couple of wardens in right now. Level 5 isn't going to look to hyper roll. It does not seem. We have Teebs, also level 5, not going to be hyper rolling, but has a few predators for a strong mid game.
Spatula.
Spatula indeed, that's nice. We have Kymzi here, who has the Kindred still, level 4, might hyper roll? I don't know, only 30 gold, so probably not. A lot of items on the bench though. See Kladeous with an
5.
Ash and Crystal on 5. Not looking hyper roll, but that Ash is very, very interesting. And is on a lot of gold as well, 42. I see 2 Yohei. On level 4, 50 gold is rolling. I think
this is a hyper roll.
A white hyper roll. Yeah, not finding many of these. Let's keep looking at this. Okay, finds a Nasus, another one. Okay,
it's not
Kindred.
Looking that good, to be honest. It's looking pretty bad.
Raka, Vayne. Okay, maybe Nasus. Okay. Selling this rocket for now. Okay, this is fine. Okay. Alright, there's the 2-3 Nasus. At least that. And then 3 Vaynes away. And 5 Jaxes away, actually. I mean, okay, that's not the worst. Yohei hit 1 3-star unit. And so I've seen, players go for hyper rolling and not hit any right now. Yohei's HP is around middle of the pack, 77. It's not the worst. So I don't know.
Part of me wishes that I was closer to a couple 3-star units instead of getting 1, though. Right?
I mean, it depends. Being close to a couple of them or a few of them versus having that power spike right now, I think actually might be a bit more valuable due to the fact that if you're able to preserve HP right now, right, you're able to make it to the wolf round. And you're able to then roll for the rest of your units. If you don't hit them then it's a bit, it's a bit rough. But hitting the Nasus right now, I think, is going to be important. Not a lot of items, though, on the side of Yohei. I think we saw Kymzi have, like, double the items that Yohei has right now, which is a bit unfortunate. But hopefully Yohei will be able to stabilize here. I want to see the strengths of hyper roll comps here. I want to see players play them well, hit their rolls, and propel them to, at least a top 4 finish.
Absolutely agree with that. We see the Nasus doing his very best in there. Now, I believe this was the Nasus that was sitting on the mountain square for quite a while. Since the early game, he's actually been kind of hanging out there.
And it would have died already if it hadn't been. And that's the power of the Mountain Hex. There is a there is a Giant's Belt on the bench there of Yohei, so maybe gonna look to make a Warmogs to, as I said earlier, really get the added benefit of that Mountain Hex. We're gonna have to find out a bit later during that carousel round as we check in with Rayditz with that Inferno Ranger Shadow here. Looking to be pretty strong. Has dropped a bit of HP, but is still on a 6 win streak right now.
Yeah, end of the day, pretty interesting strategy for Mountain. Light having two pretty tanky units in
Yeah.
Nasus and Jax, and being able to kind of sit those on there for, it's going to be pretty much the whole game that you keep them there, as you're going to keep all of your light units in. They're able to get quite a bit of value out of that Hex, and we'll see if that pays off for Tuyohei. DXN's he's got a couple T2 units in.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Kiana doomed his Kindred there, the Kindred being the primary carry, but was indeed taken out. That I believe Kiana's stun is like 3 or 4 seconds long and does a lot of damage. I think she's a very strong unit, and that strength was shown right there. But we do move into the carousel round here. Tuyohei does pick up a belt. So
yeah,
maybe
that could go
for the
into that
Warmogs.
Warmogs that you had talked about, and allow a lot more HP going on to this Nasus, as well as HP regen, stacking quite a bit of health.
It's a little playful stuttering there between a couple of those players. Rayditz taking the bow away from DXN there. DXN wanted it. He was running towards it, but wasn't able to get it. Decided to put it on the Kindred already. Maybe I would like to see this be another Rage Blade, or even better, I think, would be a rapid fire cannon, giving her double the attack range, allowing her to stay in the back and be very protected. See Kladeous here with Poison Predators, not Hyper Roll, but does have an Ashe too. This is interesting. I don't see Ashe play that much. I think a lot of players don't really rate Ashe that highly. But I wonder if he'll be able to find some items for her, or if he'll even decide to commit items for her in the first place. But facing Teebs here, Teebs at 60 HP, how's this fight gonna go?
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. The Ashe kind of outputting a decent amount of damage. We'll see.
Not enough.
Yeah, I don't know. Not actually doing very much damage at all.
No.
But it doesn't have many items either, to be fair. It is just a tier 2 Ashe.
Yeah, I mean, that's a 12 gold investment for a unit that's not really doing much for you right now. I mean, it does have a couple crystal synergy in, so the max damage that a crystal unit can take with 2 crystals is 100. 100 damage, so a bit tankier, but I suppose that tankiness doesn't really matter if you're not outputting damage in the meantime. Bento Bot here going for some lights as well, actually. Has the tier 3 Vayne, but not the tier 3 Nasus, as I believe we saw Tuyohei have. A couple of Jaxes away.
Closer overall, I believe, than Tuyohei is on the rest of their lights. We'd have to take another look at Tuyohei, but the Jax, Bento is 2 away on Jax, and he's about 4 away on the Nasus, so it's still a ways away, but I do think that is closer than Tuyohei.
Yeah, does have a Yorick in already, so as soon as BentoBot does level up, we'll be able to have that 6 light power spike, which is very, very important for this composition here. Going to want to check in with BentoBot and Tuyohei after the Wolf round, because that's generally when players will either decide to level up or to continue rolling for those upgrades, or even a mix of both there. We'll see if they're able to find what they are looking for. Yeah, Tuyohei is still pretty far away. 3 Vaynes, 5 Jaxes, has not hit a Yorick yet either. So I think BentoBot is in a bit of a better spot, like you said. They're 7 HP away, BentoBot at 69 and Tuyohei at 62 HP. They're both, 3rd and 4th respectively, so doing pretty well here in this lobby so far, though.
Yeah, and they're fighting over each other's light pieces, though, which at the end of the day is just going to end up hurting both of them, and we may see those placements drop from both players unless one of them gets even more unlucky and falls quicker, allowing the other to kind of make that comeback. Those things coming back into the pool. But we'll have to see. There still are enough units for them to find it. Yeah, was that 4 items?
Yeah, that was 4 items, and there's a lot of options here. I will see what Bentobot decides to do. Decides to level up to put the Aatrox in. I wonder if I would have liked to see. I think I would have liked to see Bentobot spend a little bit of money to roll first to try to find those Nasuses, but maybe because Tuyohei is contesting, already has 2-3 Nasus, decides that that's not going to be worth it. I think that, yeah, that might be the correct play, actually, knowing that someone else already has all those Nasuses, and you're still able to find two cost units, excuse me, effectively on level 6. Does decide to make a triple Rage Blade Bane. Don't think I've seen that one before. Tuyohei making
I do remember seeing that quite a bit in the beta. There's a lot of triple Rage Blade Bane. Yeah, quite a long time ago that was played commonly, but has not been seen for a little bit. So we're gonna see it now. I do like the level up instead. I think being able to get that power spike now without investing as much gold, I think on average, as then risking to try and get the upgrade right now, and then looking to econ into that like 50 gold mark and try and roll at that point. Even though it is at a lower % chance, you will be making more gold that you are then putting back and investing into finishing up your comp.
Yeah, I think that was the correct play.
Tuyohei leveling up.
Yeah. Tuyohei leveling up and looking for that Yorick. It's really unfortunate that he does not have the Yorick for that 6 light bonus, but maybe we'll find it in the future. Kladeous, actually, at 19 HP right now, is able to find Poison Predator and still has the Ash for Crystal. Probably will need to make this Morello's. Yeah, decides to do so. It's not that effective on Kog'Maw, but does need something right now in order to stabilize.
I was gonna say something like, pretty controversial, like maybe Poison Predator is just bad. But then I keep looking at this Ash.
I think it's a 12 gold sink. I mean, okay, Kladeous is winning this round, right? 6 loss streak.
Ooh, Ash.
Yeah.
Stayed up the whole fight, shooting the entire time.
About as much damage as the Kog'Maw, 1 cost unit versus a 4 cost unit, though.
And did 25.
I mean, it's just not what you really want to see. I mean, similarly with these items. Ionic Spark on Twitch. Luden's on Kog'Maw is pretty good, but I don't know. Kladeous really needs to survive till the Raptors round to find some better items here.
Maybe she just needs attack speed?
I mean, non-controversial opinion here. I think Ash is just a bad unit, unfortunately, but hopefully it'll be good enough for Kladeous to get some placement points above 8th here. Kymzi is in 7th currently, has 2 tier 2 Vigars with another one on the bench. Who's able to win this one? Let's find out.
Watch this Ash.
I'm looking, hitting the
high
Tibbers.
Octane. Oh,
Still hitting the Tibbers.
Still hitting the Tibbers.
Hitting the the Tibbers goes down. Whoa. But yeah, not fast enough, strangely. Yeah, 9 HP for Kladeous right now. It's looking pretty doomed here if he doesn't find something soon. Sitting on 50 gold, either needs to roll for upgrades or level up next round. We'll see.
I know a couple players who would have loved to see those 2 Jaxes that were on his bench. Sorry for yawning. I was watching Ash. It was
yeah. That
was a rough one, actually.
Not impressed by Ash, definitely.
Wow.
Kymzi taking the tier. Tuyohei taking the spatula. Now, spatula for a light comp can make a light with that cloak. Combine those 2 items together. I wonder if that's going to be the route that Tuyohei takes, or if maybe Tuyohei found another spatula or something.
Has he got a cloak?
I'm not sure. I think so, actually, because Tuyohei had an option for a Zephyr earlier. Oh, did decide to make a Hush instead, actually. So, doesn't have the light item. I mean, it's not bad, right? You'd only really be able to put that on Kindred, and he doesn't even have the Kindred 2. Eventually, you do want to have level 8 with this composition and have Kindred and Master Yi. They both give so many synergies, Ranger, Mystic, Blade Master, Shadow to each other. But yeah, having that light Yi would be good, but I wonder if Tuyohei will even be able to make it to level 8 this game at all.
Yeah.
Not quite sure.
He's not got a lot of HP. Oh, Ash got some attack speed now. This is
yeah,
important.
whoa.
We have to. Ooh, sorry. This is very important. We gotta watch Ash.
We do. I mean,
Okay.
the other units are doing a lot of work, but you know, there's Ash.
I'm not concerned with those.
True.
I'm concerned with Ash.
This is the Ash show right now.
Okay, so
Look at that.
wow.
Wow. I wonder how much attack speed that Vayne has. Kladeous barely holding on. The Vayne,
Okay.
the minion of light there by York. The only things left. Kladeous.
So Ash there.
Yeah, Ash.
Yeah. It did 1500 damage.
Oh, I didn't know the damage numbers. I thought it would have been like, you know, maybe 2500, but 1500.
There was the slow field down. You know, it's not her fault. Didn't get peeled well enough. Frontline inting.
I think the frontline position, like, they're not even in front of the Ash. Like, are they really?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you know, not enough uptime. Didn't have flash up. Lag.
Saving Flash maybe for next week, but Kladeous is going to need to get out of 8th place if he's going to return to next week of Fight Night. Running into Tuyohei here in 6th place currently. Tuyohei, you know, not the stronger light composition here.
I think she's healing Nasus. Does Ash heal? Is that... I didn't read the patch notes, actually.
Yeah, Ash, in fact, does not heal the enemy, but it looked as if that might have been the case here. Unfortunately, Kladeous going down in 8th here. Yeah, I mean, we were memeing about it for a little bit here, but that Ash, I don't think, was the answer to that composition, unfortunately, for Kladeous, as he goes out in 8th. Kymzi, though, taking a couple of losses, is, in fact, in 7th currently, is on level 7, wants to find that Vygar 3, but is 2 away. We see Rayditz with the Shadow Lux, you know, that sneaky cosplay, has Sneaky on his team, so that must be a morale boost if nothing else, as well as 4 Shadows. We'll see if he decides to level up after this round. It looks like he is gunning for that. DXN pretty strong here in 2nd place with the, still has the Mountain in. Kiana is a mountain unit on this mountain map, obviously, and decides to, you know, put some use to that synergy with the Malphite. 1500 shield is not going to be weak by any means. Hey, we see another Olaf. I've been wanting to see an Olaf composition, and here we see one without it.
I love Olaf. Look at this guy. Look at this. Whose man's is this? Look at him go.
Oh man,
I love Olaf. He's just out there just swinging his axe, having a grand old time. What a great unit.
No care in the. Oh my, wait. What is next to that Olaf, Casanova? What unit is that?
Pray tell. Whatever could that be?
Vygar, but there is indeed an Ash. Why are these Ashes here? I don't understand. Maybe these players are trying to, you know, utilize some strategy that I'm not quite aware of. I mean, Godant is strong anyway with this Olaf. I mean, triple item Olaf, looking strong, exciting unit, is able to just, you know, pop that ultimate. I think the Ragnarok is it called, and just go
Ragnarok.
to town.
So just gonna cut. We gotta watch Ash.
Okay, we do.
Just gotta
Ooh, Olaf. Ooh, Olaf going out early in that fight, but I mean,
why?
That's not even the focus. It's the Ash, but goes down anyway.
600 damage.
There's not even a crystal synergy.
No, and 3 Rangers. God, Ant. I think 4. I would rather put in a tier 1 Braum than this tier 2 Ash right now.
Are we being griefed? Is this? Am I unpunked? Is Ashton Kutcher about to come out of your fro? Like, I just don't understand why they're putting Ash into these compositions. Like, I just don't get it.
I'm not sure,
I really don't.
I'm not sure myself.
I can't even cast anymore. I just want to watch the Ash and try to think of a single reason why she should be in on the board.
Honestly, I mean, at least with Kladeous, right? There was the crystal synergy. There was a bit of excuse, but
and he had the Skarner on the mountain thing. and it was like, but he didn't have items on the Skarner, so I was still confused.
I mean, I at least see some sort of reasoning there, maybe, but with Godance, it's really providing nothing, and we'll have to check.
It's still there, right? It's can we?
I mean, God, I think another loss.
I need to see.
It's 3 Ranger, 3 Glacial. We did miss. Kymzi did go out in 7th place there a couple of rounds ago, unfortunately for her.
And here's the thing, like I'm not trying to like flame these, because all of these players are like really good. That's what's like triggering me the most, I think, right? Is like all of these players are very good players, and I'm awful at this game. And and it's just like, why are you putting this here? Like, I'm genuinely curious. I cannot see a single reason. And it's something Khroen too. So it's like, I'm losing it. I'm losing my mind. I just.
Hopefully, some sanity will be regained. Maybe Garnet will transition out of this, but running into Tiohei. Tiohei is the weaker of the light compositions here. Olaf is popping off. The Nasus, while tanky, doesn't seem to be tanky enough.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
That Ashe!
Under 1,000 damage there.
Wow! That's crazy!
Oh, 2 players being limited there. Tiohei in 6th and Teebs in 5th. So a bit of a better run that game from Teebs, but still, unfortunately, not being able to make it into the top 4 here, but very, very close. Godant has made it to top 4 with an Ashe 2 in.
I'm sorry, generally, you know, I build storylines throughout a game and talk about the different players here, you know, trying new comps or their trek from being at the bottom on a losing streak to a climb, but like that Ashe is still on the board. Like,
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Gata has a plan. I believe. Players,
no, you know,
players are good players. I believe there is a plan for this Ashe.
I agree. Like that, these players are great. Godant has had some great games tonight.
It's a glacial now. It's a glacial.
Okay, yeah,
Ashe
great.
Is providing the 4 glacials energy. Right
I mean,
now.
you could have made like Kindred glacial, but no, this is fine. No, this is good.
Maybe Godant really missed the Ashe of set 1 because Ashe was in fact, glacial in set 1. So maybe it's something along the lines of that.
I mean, Olaf is just sick though. I mean, you're right. Like Olaf is. Look at that.
8.5k damage. Olaf is a 1v9 unit for sure.
God, I mean, like he almost did as much as Ashe there. Would have been pretty good. But Godant, I think, is still gonna like is Godant just like. Is he just styling on his opponents right now? Is he just like, yo, like I don't need this extra unit. I'm gonna just put an Ashe in, and we're just gonna roll over you with this Olaf that's stacked out its mind.
I think Godant is looking to go for 4 Rangers in this game, and if he accomplishes that, that'll be 4 Shadow, 4 Glacial, 4 Ranger, and 3 Berserker, which I don't believe I have literally seen anybody run yet this set. The style points might be in order.
It sounds kind of good, though, if you get all that stuff.
I mean...
Is Rangers even good right now, though? I don't see people running it that much. Like,
no.
Yeah, okay.
The Ashe, though. Can Ashe 1v9? Oh, no, it cannot. Olaf, unfortunately, does go out pretty early in that fight. Wasn't able to output that much damage. But yeah, the literal only viable Ranger right now is Kindred, with maybe Varus taking that tier 2 spot. Obviously, you go Vayne if you're going a full light composition, as we see here from Bentobot, and she's able to carry in that specific scenario. But if you're going for multiple Rangers in a composition that's not hyper rolling for lights, it's really just the Kindred show out of all the Rangers. I've been trying to theory craft the most. You know, I come from, being a Hanzo main. I love bows. I love Rangers. Ranger comps I loved in set 1, but unfortunately, they're just really not viable here in set 2. But I suppose Godant is trying to make a case for them here in this game number 3 of this week Fight Night. Will he be able to, climb from 4th right now to get maybe a top 3 finish with them? I hope so, but I'm not convinced.
He's making a case, all right. Making a case. Maybe not the case that you're saying that he's trying to make, but he's making a case for sure. A case on why you should always pick Ashe. Great character. Everyone, if you are in my games, if you're in Khroen's games, pick Ashe. Put Ashe into your compositions. Very good unit. Really hope that I see more Ashe in my games. Yeah. Really wonderful.
All right, got it. On 4 Ranger now.
Okay, wait, the light comps though, that was the story of this game. Tuyohei is out, right? He was one of the 2 light comps, so all we have left is Bentobot, who did have the lead, and we expected to do well. There we go, back on track, back to the real commentary. There's no Ashes on this board right now. Here we go. All right. The Vayne getting knocked down immediately, though, by the Yasuo, and that's a lot of the damage output coming out of this light composition, and wow, it's getting melted. Bento's going to take a lot of damage here, I think, unless he can find a little bit more damage here. But no, it looks like overall in the corner, oh my god, the Zed is just staying alive. I thought he was going to go down, but we're going to see the unstoppable force from the Malphite. Can it be enough? Yeah, it will, but wow, that Zed almost was able to pull that back. Bentobot going to live on 3 HP, though. Ooh.
Yeah, that is, I mean, he's 1 away from the Yorick. The route that Bentobot decided to go here with 3 summoners really requires a tier 2 Yorick for that to be effective. And while I like this decision, he just hasn't found it yet, which is really unfortunate. Is also 1 away from the Jax 3 as well, has been a couple away for a very long time. This front line is just not looking to be enough. It's 2 1-star units and 1 2-star unit. No wonder this Vayne rather is getting taken out pretty early on in these fights.
Okay, but now Vayne going up against a real Ranger. Ashe.
Yeah, Olaf.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. The Vayne was on the Olaf, but she does get proc with the Glacial. Does melt the Olaf right after. The Vayne still has a ton of uptime. I don't think that should have hit, but okay. We're gonna see a lot more attack speed coming out of the Vayne. Finally getting it procced on by the Glacial, but that's not gonna be enough at all. As Vayne's just gonna shred through that entire lineup.
God, and 4th place here. The dream is dead. The Ashes have all been eliminated. I wanted to see it take a top 3, and it nearly did, but Bentobot was able to claim that round and claim a top 3 finish here.
And from the Ashes, we will probably never see her rise again. Not expecting to see any more Ashes. That's a Warmox right there. That
was an interesting play from Rayditz there.
Yeah.
Now Rayditz, I know, is a very strong, very strong player, but I don't know. Selling a tier 2 Yorick, I think Yorick is an S tier unit. I've been talking with multiple top challenger players the past couple of days about tier lists, and Yorick is pretty much down the line an S tier unit. Selling a tier 2 Yorick just to move the items to the Singed. I mean, Singed is also an S tier unit, but I'm not sure if that was the play I would have liked to see. It looks like he's losing this round to the lights.
Yeah, losing it pretty hard as well. Gonna take 19 damage. That's really rough. DXN actually quietly been winning this game. I think probably that's a storyline I would have touched on if I wasn't so just distracted. But DXN, one of my picks on someone who has performed pretty consistently well over the course of Fight Night, but never had his real standout victory. Looking on pace to pick up a 1st place finish in this round. And that would put him in striking distance to take home 1st place of this Fight Night. But Rayditz trying to fight to keep his title alive, still having another good performance, consistently placing really well. As you said, an interesting play, and we're going to have to see if it ends up paying off for him. That's 2 Tarics. That's going to be a 3 Tarics. He's going to grab that. The Gem Knight coming in.
Yeah.
Truly an outrageous pickup there.
That was a very low amount of rolls to pick up 3 specific Tarics. Even has another one in the shop there, but I don't think he's going to be going for a 3-star Taric. But yeah, that's a tanky lad there. I wonder if it'll be what Rayditz needs to secure some victories here and try to not get eliminated up against the Nocturne here. Will it be enough?
You know what Rayditz needs now? Well, I'll tell you after this. We see the Singe running around, putting a lot of Poison Cloud down. The Taric ult's not going to come down, and the Janna ult on top there is able to protect the team. But Singed is actually doing a lot of work, as well as the Kindred, who has stayed alive at very low HP. And Rayditz is not going to lose any HP there. DXN trying to finish off Bento Bot, and quietly, DXN has been incredibly strong. We see this tier 3 Jax, though, doing a lot of work, constantly getting his dodge up. And oh my god, is that TF Blade going to put out a lot of damage there, killing a couple units, keeping Bento Bot in this game. But you know what Rayditz really needs now to match up with the Gem Knight? Another Crystal unit.
Oh no.
Like,
yeah, a Crystal Lux would be a very good find, but unfortunately...
Exactly what I was thinking. That would have been great, but he already has the Shadow Lux, which is putting him at 4, which is a bit better, yeah.
Just
so,
a little
you know, yeah, it would have been nice to be able to do that, but he's got some other things that are better. Definitely wouldn't want any other Crystal units, though, as that would be awful.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, he has some perfect synergies right here. Look at the synergy board on the left. Once he goes back to his own board here, yeah, I mean, unless he gets a Force of Nature, you know, just can't really fit anything else in, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like this Singe is actually doing quite a bit of work. I wish I had looked at the damage chart on that last fight, because he's constantly applying this poison. It looks like he's going to fall down this time before...
The Singed? Yeah, it does a lot of damage.
Rayditz is going to go down into third place. DXN. That was DXN, right? Yeah, DXN putting a ton of damage onto him. Of course, the Nocturne carry that he's got there, putting in a lot of work, a lot of DPS coming out of that one. And he's going to be able to pick up a Hush. Now, I think he would love to have a Hush on his Sivir, but he's already got 3 items onto her.
Yeah, I suppose
get that.
Hush on a Nocturne, I suppose, while not being able to benefit the mana, would be able to AoE Hush silence people, but that's also full as well. So I think this probably just goes on either the Master Yi or the Kha'Zix, I believe. Not really going to be much else to do with that.
Do you ever... I don't think I even like this, but I think it's worth asking the question. Do you ever put it on the Malphite to give the extra mana because you don't have an amazing unit for Hush? Yi is pretty good, of course, having the really good attack speed and able to apply the procs. But do you ever put it on the Malphite in order to give you a little bit more mana to get that knockup out quicker and provide that crowd control?
It's worth possibly doing. I don't know if it's the play that I would make, but I mean, obviously, DXN has been witnessing these fights more than we have been, all of them, so I don't know if Malphite's able to consistently get ultimate off or not. If it was something along the lines of it was really close for a few rounds but not quite doing it, then I might. But yeah, decides to actually sell the Sivir that he had and put another tier 2 Sivir in. Well, this could be the final round right now. Bento Bot versus DXN. The lights versus the shadows.
Yeah, we're gonna see if Bento Bot can stay alive. Sivir, the attack speed slows being applied to her, actually really gimping the damage of DXN, but this Nocturne still being able to provide a lot of big unstoppable force from the Malphite. And I think Nocturne will be able to do enough. It's a little bit hard here because of all these attack speed slows on the ground, but he's going to be able to do it there. And that DXN taking the round. And I think that's going to put him into first place right now. It's hard to say because it is a very tight race and with the new scoring system. But it's definitely, it's going to put him up there. If it's not first, it's second right now going into the final match.
Yeah, it indeed is a close race right here. You know, very quickly would have liked to see that round be won by Bento Bot there because there was a light Lux on the bench and that could have been a 9 light potential, but unfortunately that's not what we see. But yeah, that game 3 was very, very interesting. In fact, you know, DXN, you know, the quiet killer of that game, Kymzi, who was in first place going into that game, wasn't able to find the same success, that consistency, you know, she wasn't able to maintain. I want to be able to get a quick check-in on the scores soon.
We're being set up for a doozy of a last game. DXN at 29 with the defending champ Rayditz at 28, setting up for a Clash of the Titans going into the final game. Rayditz needing to secure first to guarantee that he wins because DXN already has a first place.
Yeah, Kymzi, though, right behind, 26 points. Now her 2 top finishes have put her in this position to be very close to be able to claim victory. Yeah, as the majority of players could actually do. I mean, this is way too much math for me to calculate, but there's going to be a lot of outcomes here in this final game. As we're gonna hop right on into it right away. Still, make sure that you're supporting the show, whether that being, just here watching or cheering some bits. This is such a close game right now. Cheer with who you want to see claim victory tonight. 60% of the bits do go to the top 4 finishers, 20% to that bounty, and 20% to the cast and crew. Rayditz is very close to being able to secure a back-to-back finish and maybe wanting to claim that bounty. But we go into game number 4 here, Casa.
Yeah, we are, and they have been a couple nail biters, and I expect this one to be the same. We've got a very close race for this top 3 to come back next week, and an even closer race for the first place finish. We're gonna have to see.
Cloud map.
And we've got our favorite map back.
How do we... What do we see here today? We saw an ocean, we saw a mountain, we saw a cloud. What was the fourth one?
We saw an infernal, so this is actually a perfect day.
Okay, yeah, so we saw all of them.
Yeah. However, last week we saw 3 cloud. So I would have been okay with not seeing a cloud today.
Yeah, well,
but
I mean,
overall, I think getting a one of each is probably going to be your best one at the end of the day.
Yeah, I like this. I don't usually, I play a lot of games, a lot of in-houses, since there's no ranked out right now. And out of all the games I've played, I don't think it's been a, out of 4 games having 4 different elements. So very, very.
No, I think that's great RNG for us here at Fight Night. I think that's the best we could ask for. Get a variety of different games, have people showing their stuff on each of the different maps. And now we're gonna see Cloud. I mean, we talked about Cloud quite a bit last week.
Yeah, we did.
Let's cover it again. Of course, some people weren't here last week. Let's go ahead and cover it. But before that, thank you so much, Matlock, for dropping those 500 bits, helping out the players, helping out the crew, helping support the show. Appreciate it very much. Dread Pirate Castle Roberts, thank you, good sir.
Much appreciated. But moving on to this Cloud Hex here. It is the last of the 4 elements we have not seen tonight. Putting a unit on that Cloud Hex will grant it 20% dodge. Jules with the 1500 cheer as well. The woman behind the scenes that makes this all happen. Thank you very much for supporting everyone here. Much love. But yeah, this Cloud will give 20% dodge. An item that we've already seen a lot of is Iceborne Gauntlet. On dodge, it creates a slow field that reduces the attack speed of everyone in the field. Now, we've seen that item a lot already over the course of tonight, but it is even better on the Cloud map because of that extra chance to dodge. Because of that as well, the meta shifts a little bit. Auto attack compositions aren't the most effective on Cloud maps because they're going to be, higher chance for these units to dodge. We might not see as many light compositions. We might not see as many assassins, but we may still see predators, but maybe more mages or summoners, since they, deal magic damage. We will see, however.
Absolutely. Well, last week we did see Skarner have great success on this map. I really enjoyed watching the Skarner on the Cloud tile with the Iceborne Gauntlet. And of course, Skarner is a crystal unit. So because of that, we may see like other crystal units put in. Really great units come to mind, like Tarek,
yeah.
Great, excellent unit actually. Very, very cool. Has the invulnerability ultimate. Sometimes takes a little bit to get off. We didn't see it do as much work last time, but definitely not Ashe. I don't expect to see Ashe again.
Maybe we will, however. We will see. She is a 4-cost unit, so it will be a bit before the players even have an opportunity to pick her up for their team. See Tiohei here with a few pairs. The Zyras and the Dianas there on the bench. Diana, one of those strongest tier 1 units, does have a couple of lights, has 4 veins already from the first PvP round. Now, I don't like light hyper roll here because it does rely a lot on either the Vayne or the Master Yi later on in the game, but those are auto attack based hero or champions and ones that are not going to be as effective again on this Cloud map.
Yeah, absolutely. The hyper roll definitely a little bit less appealing here. Even for the Predator, I find it a little bit less appealing on the Cloud map. They do have other ways to proc it, other forms of damage dealing, but on average, it's generally auto attacks that is going to be doing that. And slowing down the proc rate is less good, I would say.
Yeah, definitely less appealing for sure. You know, not quite as bad as some of the other hyper roll compositions like those lights, but definitely loses a bit of value, as you know many compositions do here. But that is, you know, part of Rise of the Elements. There are going to be different metas evolving from the specific map types, which, you know, is going to be how we discover who's going to be the most consistent player, the one who recognizes what to do in each specific scenario, and we'll really see the best player win here tonight because we have seen all 4 of these maps. Check in with Kymzi here. She has 3 Predators, has a Skarner 2 already, and a Rek'Sai 2. Pretty early for both of them, actually, being 2-cost units.
This, well, she's pretty low on gold. I was going to say this could be a hyper roll scenario, having so many Predator units so early in the game.
Yeah, I think I would be okay with seeing the, you know, Iverton Rek'Sai too, but if I was going to hyper roll Predators, I probably wouldn't want to commit to the Skarners. The only thing, she still could roll here, but with only 1 Kog'Maw and 2 Warwicks, I probably wouldn't like to see that. So I think you're right on that assessment there.
Yeah, but she's real strong right now, and I do expect to see Kymzi to start win streaking right now, and she's trying to fight her way back. She says, you know, they may be at 29 and 28, but I'm not that far behind at 26. I can still find my way onto that first place podium here.
Yeah, it all comes down to this final game. The scores are so close, and even the players who aren't going to secure victory really want to at least play for that top 3. I wonder if the players are trying to, you know, calculate what placement they need to shoot for, because maybe players will just go for that top 4, but maybe some of these players like God Ant or Tiohei or Kladeous might just try to shoot for a top 4 finish to be able to secure a top 3 overall finish for the night. A lot of outcomes here. Again, not going to go into all of them because it's way too much math for me. But we do see God Ant and Kladeous, some of those players who are looking for those top 4 finishes, in the lead currently.
And while we absolutely would love to hear you go through all the math and break down every single possibility, I think we'd normally rather hear you talk about TFT.
Yeah, English major, not a math major. That's, you know, the outcomes are interesting to me, but the math, not the play, not the play. We do see 40 gold here already.
Yeah, he's got a couple of mages in there. That Maokai giving him 3 woodland, 2 druid, 3 mage. Definitely looking pretty good right now for him. A couple T2 units with that Vladimir and that Ivern. We've seen Vladimir kind of take control of some early games if he gets an item or 2. But he tends to fall off. As far as mage compositions go, how do you like to transition your late game?
I think there's a couple of routes here. I think the 6 mage route is viable, and having a carry unit such as Brand perhaps, or to make a mage summoner and go like 3 summoners, 6 mage perhaps, drop the woodlands. There's honestly a lot of routes here to go. And Kladeous, I think, is just playing to have a strong mid game. You know, choosing not to stay at level 4, not going to be hyper rolling, is instead going to level up aggressively. Is still on a lot of gold. He's probably the richest player in the lobby currently. And yeah, is just going to look to level up early, probably to level 8 on round 4-3, as we've seen Rayditz do so many times, to just find whatever it happens, whatever he happens to be looking for. Not quite sure, but there is a lot of options. Check in with Teebs here. She is in 7th currently with a couple of... actually, not sure what she has currently. She's scouting other people. She has some Woodlands right now and that Kog'Maw. Warwick's on the bench with the Orin and the Volibear, so maybe it's going to be a Hyper Roll game. Does sell the Warwicks, though, so probably not Hyper Roll Predators. In fact, definitely not with that decision there. But
Nico's got a couple items on her. Got a Ginzu's Rage Blade. That may eventually go to a different character down the line, just having the Nico in for the early game. Those Pop Blossoms off.
Yeah, they can do a lot of damage if she's able to hit multiple units, but it is random, I believe, her targeting, so she might just hit one unit, might hit the whole bunch. It's a little bit of an inconsistent way to win rounds there, and was not strong enough with just the tier 1 Nico right now for her to win. It is unfortunately on 68 HP, so pretty low right now, but does have a lot of gold. Picks up the Yasuo, maybe to try to go into 2 clouds. That does synergize very well with Iceborne Gauntlets, which she does not have, but also just the Cloud Hex in general. So, again, more options. We'll see where she decides to go later on. And again, the scrub ground, I do want to take a chance to quickly go over pretty much everyone in this lobby right now. We have a lot of level 5s here. Rayditz also level 5, not going to be hyper rolling. DXN is currently scouting right now, not quite sure what he has. Kymzi with those Predators, only 19 gold though.
Not enough to roll. There's no, I mean, I just don't see a world where she goes for the rolls on that much gold.
Bento bot Predators as well.
This
and
I
50
could,
gold.
That's
he
should econ. He should econ. I mean, you could look for the roll, right? You've got Predators. You could look for it, but if he does proper scouting, he sees how many Predators Kymzi already has, weigh that risk. He could just econ. He's not in too terrible of a spot HP wise. Definitely seems like what I would prefer to see as the route of play. Important to note, DXN is on a 4-win streak, definitely boding well for him, as he is the leading player right now in this lobby, trying to clinch his spot in first place.
Yeah, he is currently in first right now, 29, and this is definitely the start that he wants in order to maintain his lead. We see Rayditz, though, right behind with 28 points, and Rayditz's HP in this game is actually tied with DXN, I believe. Both players at 96 HP, but DXN is on that win streak. We'll see if DXN's able to make it up to 50 gold here, but it's going to be fighting Kladeous with 92 HP right now. Still a very strong opponent.
Yeah, that's a very strong Maokai.
Yeah.
With the Ionic Spark and the Redemption to make sure he stays alive. And it's really going to come down to him at the end here, as Kladeous is very strong and putting out a lot of damage. Hopefully this Mundo can soak a little bit of the damage as well and have this Redemption get maximum value, which it seems to get, but Ivern being able to constantly put up these shields onto Vladimir is going to be a little bit too much, and unfortunately DXN is going to lose his win streak right now.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately for Rayditz, if you're Rayditz, you want to see that so we can catch up, but this is the turn. Most people level to 6, so we want to see what DXN does here. Is already finding a couple of upgrades, finds a Thresh as well. Maybe we'll transition into a couple Wardens and some Oceans, perhaps. There is an Ashe on the roll there. Don't think he's going to be picking that one up, though.
Click
Does
it.
indeed roll past it. A few Talias there, puts in the Wardens. Maybe wants to put in Mages.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, DXN actually wants to win this game.
Wow, really?
Yeah, you can tell by the fact that he saw Ashe
Oh my.
and did not click the button.
That is a very, very good point there. That's crazy. Turns out the people who don't buy Ashe have a higher chance of winning the game. Who would have thunk it?
Wow, expert analysis from your boy.
Of course, appreciate that one. We see Kindred going down here to the Zyra plants, but Jax does remain alive. Tuyo Hey with that cloud buffed Iceborne Gauntlet Jax, gonna be one of the stronger units to have that item on, and it does net him the victory there. We see Kymzi did decide to roll, has only 2 Kog'Maws though.
Okay, but the Warwick's really close.
The Warwick is close.
So, but that's it, kind of, huh?
Yeah.
It's.
I mean, there's 6 Skarners. There is another
Yeah,
Rek'Sai up, but
that's definitely not bad. We did see what a tier 3 Skarner can do on this map. Unfortunately, the Iceborne is not on the Skarner, though. It is on the Rek'Sai. I would have liked to see it on the Skarner, actually. But maybe it was placed before the extra 3 Skarners were found.
maybe.
At this point, she's committing to just a T2 Kog'Maw, or at least she should be.
Yeah.
You're not finding a tier 3 Kog'Maw. At least you shouldn't be banking on it at this point in the game when you only have 2.
Not anytime
But going
soon, for sure.
for the win condition of a tier 3 Skarner, or at least the placement condition of a tier 3 Skarner. Because tier 3 Skarner isn't going to necessarily get you first place in a game, but it should help you place fairly high.
It should theoretically. And yeah, I mean, I've referred to these hyper roll compositions either first or 8th, but you know, she's in that spot right now where she's still pretty strong. Just needs to find some of these units after the Wolf round. If she's able to find tier 3 Skarner, yeah, and that tier 3 Warwick will probably be able to net her a top 3 or top 4 finish in this game, securing her probable top 3 finish for the night. And maybe not winning. I mean, depends on their placements, of course, but at least being invited back for next week. But still, victory is obviously in her sights right now. She's going to do all that she can to try to claim victory and secure her first place. Picks up a sword there.
And you gotta respect Kymzi really playing for the win, though. Going for that first place, you know, like you said, you know, I think you were the one who said the quote, you know, you're either first or you're last. I think that was a Khroen quote specifically, actually.
Yeah, specific.
Now,
8 Kog'Maws here on the side of Bento Bot.
Yeah, that's a lot of Kog'Maws. But yeah, Kymzi going for that reroll strat, trying to make sure that she can make an attempt on this first place on the night, come back as a champion this time around.
That would be nice, definitely. Bento Bot here is contesting the units, though, making it all that much more difficult for her to claim victory. We see a tier 3 Diana, though, from Bento Bot, so taking out a lot of units there, but it's not quite enough. Overall, the composition wasn't quite there. But Bento Bot does have tier 3 Diana, not really going for the standard in terms of this hyper roll predator composition. Usually you do go into 3 poisons and then 3 electrics, or maybe the Olaf Berserker Glacial route. If you can't find the electrics, there is no Ornn here. There is a tier 2 Scion. Thinking about wanting to commit to it, does decide to. But Bento Bot is still rolling. Really wants to hit those Kog'Maws and those Rek'Sais and Skarners.
Yeah.
Isn't even waiting until after the Wolf round to econ a bit. I wonder why.
This is really bad for Kymzi. I wonder if he's doing it because he knows Kymzi is also after these units.
Yeah, that
and
could
he's
be
trying
the case.
to get the jump. He sees Kymzi hasn't started rolling, so he's beginning to make sure that he gets to go first and trying to track down these units. And it's going to make it very hard for Kymzi to find upgrades. He has 6 of the Rek'Sais, 5 of the Skarners, and, well, we don't need to talk about the Kog'Maws. Kymzi's not finding those.
Yeah, probably not. It'll be very, very unlikely for her to find those. But yeah, that is a very, very good point. I think that might indeed be why Bento Bot is rolling a bit early here, wanting to find the units before the other players. That is a very, very good strategy to do in this situation. And it looks like it's working out, seeing as he's so close to so many of these units. Teebs taking a loss in that fight. DXN claiming a victory. But Rayditz, though, want to check in with him and see what he's working with. As, yeah, he has a lot of upgraded units right now. Level 7 before Wolves with 50 gold is rolling, though. Rayditz, you know, a player from last week who was leveling up faster than pretty much anybody else in the lobby. I wouldn't be surprised this game to again see Rayditz go to level 8 on round 4-3. Going to find, you know, a lot of synergies to put in. Already has a couple of Scions on the bench. Needs to maybe find a Kindred to put 4 Shadows in. I'm not quite sure. There's a lot of options depending on what Rayditz finds here.
Rayditz playing like a champion, trying to make
Indeed.
it so hard for anyone to dethrone him here. A gatekeeper, if you will, of Fight Night. He's only 1 point down on DXN and is making a case for this to be a first place finish already, showing dominance in this game on a huge win streak, most gold in the game, highest level in the game. And we'll have to see if anyone can contest him as he continues on. He has a very strong Diana, and the rest of his comp is nothing to scoff at either. Many T2 units, many synergies. It's going to be a rough hill to climb for DXN.
It will be. I mean, if the game ends in the placements as of now with Rayditz in first and DXN in second, theoretically, obviously many things could happen before the end of this game, but they would be tied for points. I'm not quite sure how the tiebreakers do work with this new scoring system. That is a lot of math, but it is a very, very interesting outcome that could indeed happen, especially with the way this game is looking right now.
Teebs able to take down DXN there. She's definitely been struggling throughout today. This game, not much different, but able to take a win off of DXN, who does have a pretty solid comp. So Teebs kind of crawling her way back into this one with a Summoner's composition. We're going to see a Singed go in for Godant. The Poison composition with an Olaf, a couple Glacials.
A lot of money, 61 gold here, but also has a 4 loss streak. So Godant's going to need to do something. Spend some of this gold. Puts the Guardian's Angel on the Olaf. Not one of the standard items, but it's going to be better than nothing, of course. I wonder, I mean, does Godant need to be rolling for this Olaf right now? I think probably so, but is greeding a little bit.
Yeah,
we're getting a 4 loss streak.
The Olaf would be the carry of this composition with all these Glacials, so it is very important. He definitely needs to be searching for this. I mean, right now it's doing pretty pitiful damage. Overall, for the total, it'll probably look all right, but nothing meaningful. I mean, 3,000 really, if you think about the Olafs we were seeing in the previous game, is not that much. Definitely need that T2, and he's got the gold. He just has to start looking.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that damage, even from that previous round, was onto the summoned units. Wasn't even able to make it past those. Has the option for a Kha'Zix, but does not go for it. I think that's the correct play. Ignoring those, the Kha'Zix isn't really going to benefit him much here.
Yeah, smart decision passing on the Ashe this time around. Able to look for other units instead, maybe units that are good, even to pick up.
Maybe.
He's able to find some upgrades onto his Mundo.
The redemption is Singed, though. I mean, Singed could theoretically run out of his own redemption if he procs it, depending on his pathing. I suppose maybe the 200 HP from the giant spell component of that redemption is what Godant was looking for there, keeping him alive a bit longer. We'll see. Isn't quite enough.
So pitiful right now, and
no.
If he just could get to that T2, I think Godant is actually in a pretty good place with his composition. I like the 4 Glacial, 3 Berserker. He's got the 3 Poison. Overall, it's pretty strong. He just doesn't have the hyper carry that he needs. Yeah,
I think there was another player with a few Olafs, or at least a couple of Olafs, so maybe that's what's holding Godant back right now from being able to find them. I believe there's only 12 total of each 4-cost unit in the pool. So, you know, every unit being taken by somebody else does affect your chances of finding them pretty significantly here. Godant, 12 HP, needs to do something right now to stabilize. At least wants to live until the Raptors round to get a few more items.
Absolutely. I want to see. I want Godant to just roll again. I really do. He's just
leveling.
He's in such a bad spot. There's level 8, gets the T2 Kindred. Not bad, but...
I mean...
Oh, it's going to be
making
a Titanic.
Hydra, not the item you really want to make, but
He's got no gold.
Yeah, if you're at 12 HP, it's the only thing you can really do. This is a struggle.
No.
I'm not sure if Godant will be able to do this. Godant, you know, I think it is possible for Godant to win tonight if he's able to claim first place in this game.
Against Bentobot with the tier 3. Diana gets right into the middle of the whole comp. This is about to be really bad. Get ready, because here comes the boom. Maybe not.
It did enough, the Diana. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna
maybe
not quite do it for Godant. He will stay alive. It's gonna be very close, but not quite enough there.
Needs to live one more round for Raptors.
He's gotta find Olaf.
There's one.
Okay. Okay. Do I see 2?
One more roll to... Nope, doesn't find it. Does not find it for now.
Okay, one more round.
Oh, man.
But can Godant live one more round? Do you believe that Godant will survive one more? Because
first impressions? No, I don't. I don't think he will. I hope he does, but I don't think he will.
It's tier 1 Singe. All of the carries except for the Kindred are tier 1, and Kindred has no items. Against a Kindred with many items, the Singe is already dead before it can get much value, but that was a very big redemption. The Olaf finally gonna proc, trying to put out some damage. It's actually looking pretty good for Godant. We're gonna see if this Kindred can do enough. The Braum with a great shield actually denying most of the damage from the Kindred.
Okay.
Is able to get the glacial stun. That should be enough. Actually, Godant gonna stay alive one more round. That's huge for Godant. We'll see if he can find one more Olaf.
I think if Godant had literally run into anybody else besides Tuyohei there, it would have been defeat for him. But Tuyohei, I think, is the second, or yeah, probably the weakest person in the lobby right now, unfortunately. But still 14 HP is maybe able to have one or, you know, probably just one more defeat, perhaps, if it is a small one before being eliminated. We see Teebs here is finally finding her groove. Is on a win streak right now, 42 HP in third place. Has those Shadow Summoner Inferno Rangers that are very, very strong in this meta. So she has found herself one of those good compositions. See Bentobot here with those Predators. Godant getting a few items. Getting Thieves Gloves. That's probably going to end up being the build here, as Quicksilver Sash is not very effective, I would say. Godant still rolling. Needs to find this Olaf. Will he do it? Steel Luck's not what you want to see.
Okay.
There's a Singed. Finding either a Singed or an Olaf would be
finds
huge.
the Ash.
Not what you want to look for here. One more roll. Finds the Olaf. Still that Singed.
Okay.
Yeah, there we
Get
go.
in there. All right. Here's a chance. He's got to put these items in. Come on. Items in.
Kindred.
Items in.
Yep. Not the worst items, but not the best. Put that cloak on somebody, Godant. This is your time. Up against Kymzi here. Kymzi has the tier 3 Warwick. Only the tier 2 Kog'Maw, though.
Yeah, we do see the Frozen Fist proc on top of the Olaf. He does get frozen, but he does pop the Ragnarok, and he's getting on the back line. Lots of damage coming out. We're gonna see the redemption land. He's gonna try and respawn with this Guardian Angel, but he's not gonna do enough. The Predator from the Kog'Maw, and that's not gonna be enough damage. That's just a Braum. Godant gonna go down. Olaf finally doing his little bit of work, but it's not quite enough to keep Godant out of last place. And really good showing overall from Godant. He is going to place fairly well on this week's Fight Night. But moving on, we're going to just have to look at Rayditz here as he's making his way towards his third Fight Night victory. And you can see him smiling on his screen. He knows he's in a very good position right now.
Look at that. 13 win streak. 13 win streak. 50 gold right now. Rayditz is sitting pretty. Strong composition, a lot of gold, strongest in the lobby. I think this might be a Rayditz victory here tonight.
Yeah, it's looking really good for him. DXN needs to be fighting back, trying to find his way to at least second place to force it to go to the tiebreakers. I think DXN has a shot if that ends up being the case. But right now, Rayditz finally gonna lose his win streak as Teebs takes over and picks
Teebs
up
is
one of her
strong.
own.
Yeah, Teebs, I wonder, let's check. Yeah, 7 win streak right here. She goes to level 8. Now, level 8 for this composition generally isn't usually that important. Maybe you can have a couple of mystics in there if you do find the Yi, which she does have. Yeah, picks up the
There he
John for
goes.
mystics. But will that be enough? Inferno Lux? Don't think it's going to be the play here. It is maybe appealing, but
It
not enough.
could. No, because there's Ranger as well. I was thinking it could replace the Varus, but
Yeah,
with the
not very
Ranger buff
effectively.
going onto the Kindred, it's probably not going to be better even at tier 2.
Nope. This Kindred, though. A lot of damage going out. Facing against Kymzi. Kymzi is also pretty strong, but
Kymzi's
not
about to
strong
take a
enough.
lot of damage here. I think she'll
Just
survive, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to take her down to 4 HP. Teebs is very strong, but DXN has dropped to 5. DXN trying to hold on to this first place spot, but its
5
HP bar is dwindling. He
Just
hasn't
force
been
nature.
winning recently.
Will Kymzi take it? She does not. Instead, I believe.
Oh,
is
Tio
that a
Hayden.
tier 2?
Oh,
Ooh. This is
DXN
interesting.
not able to get it. It's going to
No.
go to Kladeous.
Huh, this is interesting. Also, Bentobot did go out in 7th place, unfortunately. Another player does bite the dust, and these placements from 6th, 5th, and 4th being at 3, 4, and 5 HP respectively. It's anyone's game to get top 4 right here.
I feel like we keep finding ourselves saying this time and time again. These games have just been so close. It's been just like an excellent day of games for this fight night. We got each Drake. All the games have been really tight. The standings are close at the end of in the last game. That's close going into the final, so it's hard to say who's going to be able to come out on top.
Every game matters extremely so. We see the tier 2 Janna there being built by Teebs. The Yi with that Zeke's buffing Malzahar, Janna, and Kindred, fighting against Tuyohei here. Tuyohei with a Kindred of his own.
Malzahar, a zappy boy, getting a lot of Ionic Spark procs. It looks like Teebs is actually winning this pretty handedly, and so that's going to be...
Running to the corner is Tuyohei, but
Goodbye
still...
to Tuyohei. DXN, is he going to stay alive? He's fighting Kladeous right now. Oh, DXN!
No.
He's going to drop out at 5th.
Falls in 5th place.
Rayditz is likely going to seal it unless Kymzi can hold on.
Yeah, it's possible. Kymzi is only 2 points in the standings behind Rayditz. So yeah, I believe if she gets first and say Rayditz gets a 3rd or a 4th, which is not looking likely, but it is possible, then she could do it here. Rayditz is so strong, is not quite on that win streak that he was before, but that's because he's saving all of his gold to level up to level 9 after the dragon, put another unit in, and have a lot of gold to continue to roll down to find them.
Okay, I was going to say this is where, as Kymzi, you're hoping Teebs keeps running into Rayditz and drops him lower and lower, but can Kymzi even beat Kladeous? That's going to be the important question right now. Kog'Maw's trying to put out enough damage, but an assassin gets in the back line and takes her down. The Nami wave going to hit a bunch of different members, and Kymzi's going to end up going down here, and I'm pretty sure that's going to end up sealing it for Rayditz to become a 3-time champion. But before I say that too confidently, we should probably take a quick look-see at the standings to confirm if that has in fact happened.
I'm pretty 99% sure it does.
I'm pretty confident that it does secure the win for Rayditz. Yes, it does.
Yeah, Kymzi did not get enough points there with those standings. Yeah,
Rayditz will
Rayditz
not be able to come back. Rayditz will end up being the champion, and now it's just a victory lap to see if he can do it in style with a first place finish on top of all of that.
Yeah, Claudious's placement here does matter a lot. If he is going to make it into that top 3, however, I believe to be invited back for next week. So we still have to keep a very close eye on how he performs if he gets a 3rd, a 2nd, or a 1st here.
Yeah, because right now we have DXN and Kladeous, or DXN and Kymzi, excuse me, looking like they're going to be in this top 3. But that's only if Kladeous does not land a 1st or a 2nd place and pull the upset here. Will Teebs be able to take him down? Teebs lost a bit of health against Rayditz, but her composition looks very strong. Kladeous himself is nothing to scoff at, though, with that light Yi and the foreshadow.
Yeah, this is a very, very strong composition. I like this a lot, picking up that light item to give a few lights. You know, if that Yorick and Soraka do go down, they will be buffing up that Yi. You know, it's not a tier 2 Yi yet, but it is still going to be a threat. She's facing Kladeous here. How's this fight looking?
It's looking like a cluster of a lot of things. We're going to see the Yi's trying to get in the back line. A big tidal wave coming across, only going to hit one. Yi going to be able to keep getting a lot of damage, and that Lux Laser coming across hitting a lot of members, and Teebs is barely going to hang on at 1 HP. Ooh, that was a close one.
Yeah, that's an important victory for Kladeous.
Yeah, an important HP at that for Teebs, though, hanging on, just trying to see how high she can place.
Doesn't find it.
Did find Ashe. Thankfully, she doesn't pick that one up.
Yeah, it turns out these top 3 players don't have an Ashe on their team. That is crazy how that works. But Teebs a lot of synergies here. But Rayditz, look at this composition here. 4 Shadow, 3 Mage, 3 Summoner. The 4 Infernos for 3 Inferno buff. A couple Rangers as well as a tier 2 Lux putting in for the
tier 2 Singed was already something I was a little bit concerned about, but instead he's like, nah, I want the Lux instead. I got options. But we're gonna see a lot of damage coming out of Kladeous' comp pushing up forward. We're gonna watch that Yi. It's putting a lot of damage onto the back line, popping people down really fast. We see the double laser all the way across the sky, but Kladeous is gonna put a lot of damage onto Rayditz there. That's 27 damage going back at him. Teebs is gonna stay alive at 1 HP on the other side though.
Okay, there's a couple of interesting things here. One Vigar away from a Vigar 3, 1 Annie away, 1 Brand away from leveling those up. What's he gonna sell? The Singe 2? Sell the Lux 2? I think I would sell the Lux 2. Lux 2 is a gold sink. I actually don't like this at all.
That's a lot of gold.
It's 21 gold. Commit though.
It hurts me. I like Singe 2. I think he's really good.
What's the other side? I mean, if there's a Z2, I am tempted to fit this Z into this composition just to give 3 electric, because that is such a strong power spike. But giving up a Yorick 2 for that, I don't know if that's going to be the play.
Well, we're going to have to see. Again, we're going to have to watch this Yi on the side of Kladeous. It's finally getting focused down. It actually falls this time. That may be enough for Rayditz to finally pull away with a win, but we're going to see a lot of the Annie damage coming out, and that's going to be a lot of Infernal putting out a lot of damage, and really Rayditz just seems no match for this composition. The Lux not really doing enough damage overall. Gets off 1 laser, it hit a bunch of targets, but no one went down.
That's Teebs' composition. So both Kladeous and Teebs are currently beating Rayditz. So Rayditz might actually go out in 3rd here. It is possible. I mean, if Kladeous runs into Teebs again, then probably Kladeous won't die, but Teebs might if she does lose the fight. Needs to find that Yi too for herself to be able to stabilize here. I believe she found a Shojin's, so there was not a Yi that she was able to pick up on that carousel. Kladeous here has a couple of units, a little bit of gold to roll for.
Teebs just barely hanging on. We're going to see it's very important who goes against who here. I believe Teebs wants to see Rayditz and not Kladeous, and I think Kladeous maybe even feels the same way, wanting to see Rayditz and not Teebs.
Yeah, I believe Rayditz found the tier 3 Vigar there, so definitely a massive power spike for him. Is it going to be enough to start winning against these compositions? Because both Kladeous again and Teebs have beaten him the last few rounds. Kladeous runs into Teebs though. This might spell
the Kladeous special, the static shiv. It's going on the Nami, who's in the corner. We're going to see if we're going to get a big tidal wave. It's going to hit many members of the enemy team. And then a Lux Laser follow-up, going to deal quite a bit of damage. We'll see if we get another tidal wave coming across this composition. Teebs trying to stay up and about, but it's just down to Tibbers, and he's gonna fall, getting washed away by the tidal wave, as well as Teebs' chances out of first place here, but she will finish third, and a good showing from her overall. Kladeous versus Rayditz, final game, 27 HP to 27 HP.
Yeah, this is going to be intense here. A quick shout out to Teebs. She was, scaling pretty well over the course of the night with better placements in her games 3 and 4, but not going to be enough to claim a victory tonight. But now it is down to Rayditz and Kladeous here, the top two, tied HP as you said, going into the fight. How's this going to go down?
Well, I don't know as of now, but we're about to find out. We're going to watch that Kindred trying to put out a lot of damage with the 3 items on top of that. But on the other side, we do have this Lux putting out quite a bit, as well as the tidal waves coming across with the static shiv. Big laser, but repeated lasers coming back to back. We still have a Varus alive, but that's going to be about it. And that's going to end up going down.
Yeah,
Rayditz going to take quite a bit of damage from Kladeous there, and it looks like he may be on death's door. It might be just one more fight, but first there's a reprieve.
There were so many units on the side of Kladeous there that did above 4,000 damage. I believe it was like 4 or 5 units that did above 3 or 4k damage. So a lot of threats on the side of Kladeous here. Has that Lux, has the Yi, the Syndra, even I think the Vygar was doing a lot of damage there as well. Rayditz checking his own damage, and just not quite enough, it seems. Has the tier 2 Lux as well, but it's just not doing enough. Electric really isn't that beneficial. To be fair, neither is Woodland to Kladeous, but both players still relying on that tier 2 Lux to give them a bit of an extra power spike.
Absolutely, the Lux just being a powerful unit, the only 7 cost in the game. Both of them just trying to pull as much power as they can onto the board. Gonna see what these items can change for the upcoming battle, as Kladeous took the last one pretty handedly. And we'll see if he can do it yet again.
Yeah, Blade Master item for Rayditz isn't going to be what he really wanted to see. It gives a little bit of attack speed, but that's about it. Spatula items don't even double the stats of the other item anymore, so it's only going to be 1 recurve bow's worth of stats. Puts it on the Lux, changes the corner that he's in. Maybe this is going to be enough. Kladeous got a frozen mallet, not really that useful for him, but we go into potentially the last fight of the game here.
Watching that Master Yi on the side of Kladeous, we're going to see another huge tidal wave into the Lux laser, going to evaporate a couple people. Man. Vygar is not going to be able to do enough either, and that's going to be a big win for the side of Kladeous, and that's going to be a first place finish for him, and that might be able to clinch him a place in the top 3 and keep him in Fight Night going in to the next one just before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I believe it would be on Tuesday right before that, but I believe he was able to do that. We'll check in on the scores very, very shortly, but, Rayditz has clinched his victory here tonight, going to be the back-to-back champion. We're going to have an interview with him shortly after we go over those scores, but man, these were some good games tonight, Cass.
Absolutely. I was on the edge of my seat. There's absolutely insane plays out of many of these players. Really great job. Always exciting with having, DXN and Kladeous and Kymzi and all these players that we've had, of course, Rayditz winning for the 3rd time.
Oh, man, these scores.
Oh, wow. Kymzi on the cusp of that top 3. DXN and Kladeous, staples of Fight Night, are going to keep themselves in it by securing the 2nd and 3rd place spots.
Yeah, Rayditz the champion, though.
Yeah, Rayditz. We'll have to get him in here, talk to him, see how he's feeling about that one.
Yeah, I think technically Kladeous is 2nd place because of his placements there. Kladeous won 2 games tonight, but his other finish in 8th, and in 5th really wasn't enough for him to secure victory, but still a very, very good performance from him nonetheless. Obviously, Bento Bot and 2Hey tied with 27 points. Godant and Teebs 24 and 22 respectively.
With Rayditz, is he the first to win back-to-back-to-back? Because I think Faye has won the most Fight Nights still.
Yeah, but not a back-to-back-to-back.
Right.
She back-to-back and then lost and then won again.
I believe she is at 4 wins.
All right, we're going to have an interview here with the man, the myth, the legend, the back-to-back-to-back champion, Rayditz. How are you feeling, my friend? That was impressive.
I mean, that last game, I kind of like threw really hard, so.
You were at 96 HP, on that like 13 or something win streak. But yeah, Kladeous was able to take the victory here.
Yeah.
Do you think, what do you think you should have changed in the last game if you were going to go for that first place?
I had like a random spot to fill at level 9,
Yeah.
and I was just trying to roll for like the best unit I could have. And I got baited by Electric Lux. I don't know why, but I put it in, it did nothing.
Yeah, I saw you had a Singe 2, Electric Lux 2. It went in.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, it's electric. It doesn't really do much, but the Lux maybe will pop off, but unfortunately didn't. But hey, it was still good enough to net you the victory. Cass, do you have any questions?
I just honestly, congratulations, showing just this utmost consistency every time you're on here. I mean, back to back to back is pretty insane, especially in the quality of lobbies that you've had. You will actually have the opportunity to cash out the bounty tonight if you so choose, or you can come back for more. And that's, I think, what I'm most curious on. Do you want to come back for more, or are you gonna, take the winnings and maybe come back another day?
I think I might have to take the winnings and come back another day, because every week, it's getting closer and closer,
All right.
I was getting scared at the end,
I think it'll have to be another 3 fight nights, or 2 or 3 for you to be able to, 3 to be able to come back to the next one. So if you do want to in the future, but are you locking in this answer, cashing out this bounty?
Yeah, I think I'm going to lock in the answer.
Okay.
All
One more
right.
question on top of that. When you come back in 3 weeks, who do you want to play against?
I mean, I'm always happy to play against Kladeous and DXN. They're like insanely good. I've known them for a while, since like the beginning of the game,
Yeah.
So I'd love to see them back,
Well, if
right.
they keep up how they keep doing and securing these 2nd and 3rd place seeds, chances are you're going to see them again 3 weeks time when you're back, or 3 fight night time when you're back.
They were very, very close to you tonight. Both 5 points, 5 points off with this new scoring system here. And I did want to ask actually one more question, just about the way that you're playing these games. I know I asked you last week if you thought it was a good strategy to want to go for those early, win streaks and level up to level 8 on round 4-3. Do you still agree that that's the strongest way to consistently secure victories, or what are your thoughts on that now?
I don't think early aiding on 4-3 is that good anymore, because I feel like I was just doing it because no one really knew the meta, so
Yeah.
I could get away with it. But I feel like now people are getting way, way better as they learn the game. So you actually have to roll on wolves sometimes. You can't just go 8 every game.
Definitely. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Players wouldn't be punishing you as much before, but now that they do, I agree. There's been a lot of progression in the meta over the last week, giving these players the chance to, just learn and improve. And it made for some exciting games here for tonight. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Congrats on the back-to-back-to-back. Do you have any final words, any shout outs, anything you'd like to say?
Not really. But thanks for having me.
Yeah, silently leaving into the night. Right, it's once again, congratulations, and we will hopefully see you again in the future. Congrats on your winnings.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Casa, man, this has been a doozy tonight. There's some good games, man.
It was a wild one, for sure. Definitely some exciting games. Definitely some more great performances out of this group of players. We had them last week, and it was great to have them back. Really just exceptional play all around. Wow. I can't wait for the next one. We're going to be back the 26th of November.
Yep.
Because the Thursday would have fallen on Thanksgiving, so that will be Tuesday of that week instead. And we'll see you guys all then for some more insane TFT action, bringing back some of the players that you have just seen since it's top 3. We will be seeing EXN and
Yep.
Kladeous coming back for your viewing pleasure.
Indeed, players that you talk about a lot, and hey, they placed top 3. They are very, very strong.
They're
And we talk
good.
about them for good reasons. Definitely. Also, ranked will be out by the next time that we come back here, so we'll see what players are being able to climb the leaderboards and, you know, get a pretty good gauge of the strength of those players based off of the set 2 and the rank system. So excited for that one. But yeah, I think that about does it for us tonight here. I really enjoyed casting, as always. A lot of fun, a lot of, you know, good games here tonight. I'm excited for next couple of weeks. But I think we'll be signing off here. Cass, do you have any last words for our
Yeah,
audience here?
thank you guys. Good night and pick Ash.
Oh no.